now streaming live. Full Velocity TV begins now.
And the magic of live TV coming to you on your screen, live and in living color. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Full Velocity TV. Here tonight, live at the Texas Motor Speedway. Race number 8 of the 2018 FTF Verizon Cup Series playoffs. We're 1 week away from elimination night, but who is it going to be? The punch your ticket to Homestead in a couple of weeks. We're going to find out here live tonight on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and Twitch TV. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Phil the Cast here along with Mr. Too Tall, Todd Stanton at the controls for us here, as always, at Full Velocity TV. Todd, we come to the Texas Motor Speedway. The Chromatic Designs 400K. Got to thank Zach Bristowski for the sponsorship here for the race tonight. Got to thank our sponsors, Spadafora Firearms and DirtSeries.com. But we get over here to Texas, it's time to go here at the mile-and-a-half high banks. Who's it going to be here tonight? Who is going to punch their ticket on to Homestead here in a couple of weeks? One step closer here this evening.
Yeah, one step closer to who's going to punch the ticket to Homestead here this evening. Like you said, Phil, can one of the guys that are on the outside looking in here tonight punch their ticket and make it a little bit harder for those guys that are inside that top 4 right now that are already going to advance here to Homestead. So those guys are looking to maybe pick up a win that are outside the cut line. Hopefully we'll see some great racing here at Texas that always produces some good racing.
No, it absolutely does. And keep in mind here, this is newly reconfigured Texas Motor Speedway. So turns 1 and 2, just like you saw in the real NASCAR world, it's just like it was last fall. It's kind of like flattened out, so it changes the dynamic of what this racetrack is going to look like here. So we'll see. It's going to be 2 completely different styles here. The fixed setup these guys are under tonight. We'll see how this treats them. And the EXE, that's something here at FTF. So a lot of cool things we'll have to keep an eye on over the course of the night. We've got 134 laps of racing action in store this evening. 167, I should say, in store this evening for 400K. It is a 40-lap first stage, a 40-lap second stage, and 87 laps to complete the night of racing. So we have a lot to get to. We're going to complete here through the point standings here, talk about our 8 playoff drivers. But before we do that, why don't we go trackside, the playing of our national anthem. All right, we are back live at the Texas Motor Speedway. We're about ready to set to go. The command to fire engines has been given. The field rolling going off pit road. So what do you say we go to tonight's starting lineup for the Chromatic Designs 400K at the Texas Motor Speedway. On the pole at a lap of 27.369, and it's Chris Wetz. Alongside him in the 26 car, it's Kevin McAdams. Row 2, the defending series champion, rolls off next. The 36 is Taylor Morgans. The 43 car, Kyle Riley. He'll roll off fourth. David Sheldhouse making a rare appearance. He starts from position number 5 in car number 10. Brandon Lawson starts P6. He's in car number 9. The 44 is next. That is Brian Mercurio. Brandon Hawken, the number 25, will roll off 8th. Corey Carpenter's number 30 rolls off 9th. The 028 of Blake McCandless, he will start 10th. Jordan Buster rolls off tonight from 11th in car number 8. The 34 of Isaac Gann, he will roll off 12th. Cosman going to roll off 13th. 14th start of the 37 of Ryan Naraki. Cody Erdman's number 80 rolls off in 15th. David Day, he rolls off on the outside of row 8 in car number 5. Jake Pullen's out there in the 39 tonight. He starts 17th. Steve Rada, he's in the 3 car. He rolls off 18th. Chris Emery, Justin Malello, Noah Carmichael, Phil Parker, Sonny Tallman, Michael Frisch, Arnold Columbia, Chris Barnes, a great field of race cars. Nick Baker and Zach Buchanan, I believe 30 to 28 drivers going to take the green flag. Green flag going to go on the air for the first time tonight. Chris Wetz and Kevin McAdams, they lead the field, Todd, for the first time in turn 1.
Yeah, leading the charge down here into turn number 1. It is Wetz on the bottom. It is McAdams on the top side, and that Doritos sponsored, one of my favorite sponsored cars. That's one of my favorite looks on that number 26 machine of McAdams. As he comes down here to turn number 3, looks like he's going to have the prevailing line here. Then number 26, he's going to peak right back down to the bottom, and he's going to lead lap number 1 here, Chromatic Designs 400 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Chris Wetz running in the 2nd spot. 3rd right now, great battle going on between Taylor Morgans and the 43 of Kyle Riley. 3 wide off of turn number 2.
3 wide off of turn number 2 as Wetz got a little tad bit loose, so let Morgans come down to the inside, able to make the pass. Wetz going to fall back. He'll also surrender to the 43 of Kyle Riley. Sneaks by. Here comes David Sheldhouse to the inside in the 10. Also, Brandon Hawkins, 25, not too far behind either. So Chris Wetz, he started up there on the pole. He's already going to fall outside the top 5. As now Hawken going to move to the inside. Put Brandon Hawken up to P5. Chris Wetz back to 6, but the race to the lead, Todd, it may be happening here in about another corner. McAdams has it, but Kyle Riley and Taylor Morgans, they're all over the back of a 26 in a turn 3.
Yeah, definitely all over the back of the number 26 here, but they're about 3 or 4 car lengths flashing by the start-finish line here. Different camera angle here on Full Velocity TV. Worked on some different camera angles here tonight. Just trying to work on some different areas here. As right now, Kevin McAdams, your current race leader, with 2nd place being Kyle Riley now here in the number 43 machine, able to fend off charges from Brandon Lawson from the helicopter view, just showing about a 10 car length advantage here from the 43 and the 9 here, running that 2nd spot.
And Brandon Lawson stuck in there up to the 3rd spot now. Taylor Morgan's currently running 4th. David Sheldhouse up on the top 5 laps in of what is going to be 167 laps. They're coming off of turn number 2 now, and it's very kind of curious to see, Todd, how this layout of the racetrack and how these guys at FTF have set it up here tonight. You can really hear these cars come out and pedal through the gas pedal through 1 and 2, where in previous years, previous versions of the racetrack, before they grinded that banking down, you could get in there at a pretty high speed of well over 200 miles an hour. Not quite that fast on this new layout.
Nah, definitely not quite that fast here. And this new layout has not caught much of this new layout, Phil, and maybe that's a bad part on my occasion, because I've never actually raced on something like this. So it's a little bit different. I'm used to the original Texas here, not the flat corners in 1 and 2, and it's different seeing these guys letting off and having to back out of that throttle compared to what it used to be.
And what I'm curious to watch here tonight is how tire wear is going to affect these guys. So far, they look really content to run the low side of the racetrack here, but this is early on in the going. They're able to hold the bottom here through 1 and 2, through 3 and 4, so nobody really at this point unimpeded down off the bottom side of the racetrack, but we'll update that progress as the night goes on. Of course, not dynamic tracks here. We're back at NR 2003. That's long technology before that, but the way these guys laid out at FTF with the EXE update, with the way these set up these racetracks to go, you usually see a lot of 2 and sometimes 3 wide racing, so we'll definitely take you through that as this night transpires. But it's Kevin McAdams up there with the lead over Kyle O'Reilly. Taylor Morgan sitting third. Brandon Lawson fourth. David Schildhaus fifth. Basically all single file there, Todd, all the way back into the top 10. The best race I'm seeing currently looks to be about for the ninth spot between Isaac Gans, number 34, and Blake McCandless, the 28, up ahead of there. You see Brian Mercurio back tonight in the 44, and Chris Wetz, our pole sitter, he's back there now having to fight for the 7th spot. They're down the front stretch short turn 1.
Yeah, something must have went awry, and that number 71 of Chris Wetz's machine there is the number 28 of Blake McCandless. 28 of Blake McCandless down to the bottom here, trying to make short work here of the 71 of Wetz. Isaac Gann now able to get by Wetz too. Here comes Corey Carpenter in the number 30 machine. Again, the playoff indicator is the red Verizon strip on their windshields. Corey Carpenter, one of those guys. There's 8 guys left here running for the FTF Championship, the Verizon FTF Championship here, and we're every point's going to matter here this evening there, Phil.
Yeah, we'll talk about those 8 drivers in there running for the championship right now as I'll pull it up on my screen. A great segue there by Utah as always. Our current point leader is Taylor Morgans. He's 46 points above that, top 4 cut line. Got to be to Homestead here in a couple of weeks. Kevin McAdams currently 6th in the 2nd spot, 36 points above the cut line. Cosman sitting 3rd in the number 24. He is 14 points to the good. 12 points to the good right now is the number 30 car of Corey Carpenter. The great equalizer tonight can be one of those guys having a mistake or one of the guys outside that top 4 winning a race that's in there like Justin Malello. Carter, 53, 12 points off the cut lines. Currently sits 5th. Brandon Lawson, the number 9, 6th of the standings. He is, I believe that's 18 points back. No, also 18 points back, 19 points back. The number 64 car of Tyler Head. I believe Tyler is in the field here tonight, so that's going to pretty much hurt his chances. And also the number 43 of Kyle Riley. He's the 8th of those drivers running here that's still mathematically eligible to win this championship. He is 24 points back. Kyle Riley needing a really good run here tonight, Todd. Maybe even a win that may secure them in a Homestead. One of those guys, one of these 8 drivers wins here tonight. They will punch their automatic ticket here in 3 weeks when we get to Homestead.
As we flash over to the owner and team standings here, True North Motorsports 01 is your current leader here. They did get by the Huge Ram Cent Mile High Racing number 36 of Taylor Morgans after a bad showing here last week for Taylor. And 01 is now atop the owner points. That's nice to see. Different types of strategies going on for these guys. And then it's a gaggle of 4 Huge Ram Cent Mile High Racing cars. It's the 36 Taylor Morgans, number 9 Brandon Lawson, the number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter. Then it's back to Speed Inc. number 53 of Justin Malello. Then back to Jordan Buster, Kevin McAdams, and 24 of Cosman. Then you got the 71 of Chris Wetz and the 44 rounds out your top 10 here in owner points. And again, team points now. Huge Ram has got a 5-point lead here over Speed Inc. So every little bit of points counts for that too. So we got team points and owner points here tonight, Phil.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great thing, a great brand these guys at FTF do. You get the owner points sprinkled in, the team points, the driver points. I mean, end of the year, they crown 3 different sets of champions. That is a really, really cool deal. FTF been doing it right here for a long time, and hopefully for years to come, this league stays around the NR 2003 because it's a really great league and probably the best of the best of what we see here week in and week out racing, and this community still has to offer. So we turn our attention back up front in the race. Kevin McAdams has a pretty good lead there over Taylor Morgans. As I say that this time around, the 36 of Taylor, he's going to go up to the race lead. So the 36 now up front. Kevin McAdams second. 1 second gap back to you find Kyle Riley third. Brandon Lawson is fourth. And David Schildhaus, he's got that 10-car rolling car. He's a veteran of the sim. He's talked about being retired. Well, if you're retired and you're up in the top 5, I don't care who you are. You're a good race car driver. David Schildhaus, the number 10, currently sits in that 5th spot.
Yeah, good run for that number 10 of Schildhaus there, running in 5th like you said. 1.523 back. A great battle going on still between the 26 and the 36 here. Side-by-side battle for that lead there, Phil. As these guys aren't going away. 0.029 separating these guys. The 36 Taylor Morgans and the 26 of Kevin McAdams. That McAdams is dressed up high. Looks like Morgan's going to drift up here in front of him for a little bit here, Phil. So hopefully this is going to iron itself out. But they're going back and forth with one another here. I think the 26 of McAdams may have been saving some tires while he was out front. But 36 of Taylor Morgans has been noted time in and time again that the number 36 has very, very good tire control. Can save his tires, can save fuel. He's really good at that stuff.
Oh, he really is, and no doubt about it, the defending series champion, probably at the top of the list for a repeat champion here in 2018, and I'm sure Taylor would feel really good with a win here at Texas tonight. You don't want to sweat it out, have to go in next week to the ISM Speedway, and, never know what's going to happen at the Flat 1 Mile next week out in Arizona, so we'll wait till we get there. But next time around, we're going to be halfway home here in stage number 1. 20 laps going to be on the board here. 40 laps going to be the distance for stage number 1. Of course, 167 the distance here tonight for the Chromatic Designs 400K at the Texas Motor Speedway. With a good race going on right now for that third spot. David Schildhouse was around the 9 of Brandon Lawson. Now he's to the inside of Kyle Riley's 43. David Schildhouse has that blue STP machine rolling here tonight, Todd. Put that 10 card out up to the third spot as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, 10 of Dave Schildhouse up to third. Got around Kyle O'Reilly there in the 43. Here comes Lawson now down to the bottom of Riley here. Side-by-side battle. Here comes Mercurio also into the battle. And Isaac Gannon, the number 34 machine. These guys pretty tight-knit group as of right now. Schildhouse trying to run away and hide as those guys are 2 by 2 here for position 4th on to 8th here. The number 9 of Lawson down on the bottom. The 34 of Isaac Gannon trying to look for some real estate here. Trying to get by the 44 of Brian Mercurio. Going to make a 3 wide through the corner here. Here comes Isaac Gannon way down on the bottom. He's going to put Lawson in the middle in that number 9 machine.
Well, I didn't watch much of the Cup race at all today, but I did watch some of the Xfinity race yesterday, and those guys should take notes because those guys couldn't get through 1 and 2 side by side and not wreck. These guys just did it 3 and almost 4 wide. These guys at FTF, this is why they are some of the best racers out there in all of sim racing. They do it in a big way. You're seeing good battles going on up there now between, Kyle Riley is in there. Brian Mercurio is 44, starting to march forward. Brandon Lawson is in there. Isaac Gann trying to make moves now up to the high shelf. He's going to pull up alongside Mercurio. That's side-by-side drag racing. Call that for the 6th spot as they hit turn 3.
And nice racing here going on 3 wide. Once again, Isaac Gann putting it up through the middle here in the 34 machine. Wow, what a move down the front straightaway. Contact made, and around goes Mercurio up in the air and hard contact to the outside wall there, Phil. Not sure if that's going to bring out a yellow, but oh man, Mercurio went for one wild ride, and it is indeed going to bring out our first yellow flag here of the evening. And Lawson got into the back of that number 44 machine.
And you feel for Brandon right there as they were 3 wide, but he was the car behind them. But you just don't know who's going to make that contact, who is going to check up. As Mercurio made a shot there on the inside. Isaac may have taken the line away, and the 9 just got in the back of the 44, and it was on from there. And I'm sure, Todd, you'll have at least an angle or two to show us, what happened there on a Full Velocity TV replay. But, yeah, I think you can see it live and in living color there, live on the screen. So, those guys doing some great 3 wide racing. It was this Brandon Lawson. I don't know if he got a little bit overzealous. The 44 checked up or whatever happened there. That definitely put us under the caution for the first time tonight here at FTF. Now working lap number 24. It's going to allow all these leaders to come on pit road, get themselves cycled up with tires here, maybe some fuel. So we'll definitely go back and look. But got to thank our sponsors out there tonight. Spatafora Firearms. Get a hold of Brendan at spataforafirearms.com. Troutman, North Carolina, where you can find Brendan. Head over to his website there. Look up the great product. And also our friends over at DirtSeries.com. Dirt-Series.com, or look up For Dirt Series on Facebook. Group we broadcast every Thursday night with the Proverse Super Series here in the iRacing Dirt. They have come aboard as one of our presenting sponsors as well. So got to pay the bills there. No else we can do to pay the bills, Todd. We're going to give us a Full Velocity TV replay. Take us back through that racing action. Definitely was contact with the 9, but was there a checkup, or was he just overzealous getting on the throttle?
Well, here's what's going to happen here. The 34 of Isaac Gann. We're going to show it from helicopter angle here, and a different angle here tonight is a helicopter. Probably going to be the best view that we have here this evening. You're watching Isaac Gann fitted up here through the middle. He gets a little bit loose. Looks like Mercurio hits the grass just a little bit here in the 44. Maybe just hits that apron just a little bit to slow him off. And then the number 9 tags him. That's Brandon Lawson. Around goes Mercurio. And, man, he's up in the air, almost doing a pirouette. Coming back down the hits, Corey Carpenter. Carpenter around too, Phil. So, again, Carpenter hitting the outside wall. So, oh, man, then there's the True North Motorsports 01 just pounding the 44 there at the end of that one. So, the 44, the 30, and the 01 involved in this one. Unfortunate for the championship contender, the number 30 of Corey Carpenter. Hopefully not a lot of damage to that machine.
No, and I think once we get back settled in, we'll check on a 30 car and see how that driver is. But yeah, Mercurio there, really nothing he could do. He was kind of along for the ride, spinning down the front stretch. And you said you see the 30 having to make an evasive maneuver. You see the 01, as you said, pulling, just slammed in the back of the 44. But when you have a car like that spinning in the middle of the racetrack, Todd, there's not really much more at that point the 01 could do.
Nah, definitely nothing the 01 could do there as he's just spinning there. But the 44 Mercurial did have it going the right way, and then all of a sudden the 01 had no time to react there as it looked like he just looked up and bam, he was there. And he was a lot slower than the 01 of the True North Motorsports machine. So unfortunate chain of events for the 01 there, and a little bit more damage to that True North Motorsports car. Like you said, Phil, right now it's got about a 5-point cushion as the points leader right now over the 36 in owner's points. So he's going for that owner's points championship in that 01.
Oh, absolutely right there. And I definitely see some cars out there smoking still on the racetrack. Guys peeling off the banking off of turn number 4, maybe coming on back toward pit road. So trying to get things settled up here for a restart as I believe we have some wave around cars going to take a wave around here. There were cars off the lead lap there. Some of these guys had just come to pit road. Guys like Steve Rada, like Noah Carmichael got trapped a lap down. I believe Chris Barnes may have been involved in that as well. Jake Poulin, 39, believe he was one of those drivers that may have been trapped, and also the 11 of Phil Parker. So I believe with wave arounds and stuff, I think we're going to get all 28 cars back to the lead lap, but definitely going to have some carnage and tore up cars there with the 44 Mercurio. Definitely damaged there. The 01 with that hard shot, the 30 with some damage. So when they get back to Green Flag Racing, Todd, these guys all settle in. We'll bring guys like Corey into the fold, and we'll check on the progress of that race car, because said he's one of those 8 guys running for a championship. Never want to see them guys get tore up whatsoever.
I definitely don't want to see those guys get tore up, and that's the difficult time there, especially when they're so close to a cut line and they're so close here to ending up and wrapping up to go to Homestead. And that's not what Corey Carpenter wanted to see. Hopefully not a lot of damage on that 30 machine, but we'll wait and see. I mean, it's just going to unfold here. Hopefully the pit crew did a lot of work there during that pit stop. We're able to get him in the right direction here. But meanwhile, up front, your current race leaders, Taylor Morgans, Kevin McAdams, Isaac Gann, David Schildhouse, Brandon Hawken, Kyle Riley, Cosman, David Day, Blake McCandless, and Chris Wetz. That is your top 10 right now, Phil, here in Texas. And the Chromatic Designs 400K. And getting ready to go back, I do believe, to Green Flag Racing here momentarily.
Yeah, absolutely are, as they're coming off of turn number 4. Green Flag going to go back in the air. Taylor Morgan's going to lead the field to green with Kevin McAdams there down the front straight away. See those cars marching into turn number 3. I had to adjust there some color because I couldn't tell some of these black cars apart through the racetrack. I had to dictate who was who, but Isaac again going to restart 3rd. David Schildhouse 4th, and Kyle Riley. That's your current top 5, but anything can change. They're in turn number 3. Caution flag going to come back to the speedway. Caution flag once again. Looks like a Carpenter may have been involved in the number 30. Not quite where this could have happened at, but giving Mr. Stanton a point of reference to go back here on the replay. I think also the 39 of Jake Poulin may have also been involved. So this happened right toward the back of the field, right on the restart. Some of these guys are wave around cars. Guys like Corey were involved in that wreck. So you never know if there was a damaged race car off the pace, or one of the lucky dog guys just kind of got a little bit squirrely. So we'll have to go back and get on through. So we'll give Todd here a brief minute to sort himself back through the field. 28 laps on the board now as our second caution flag out on the speedway for this Chromatic Designs 400K. Gonna salute all you guys out there. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch TV, all 3 media is doing great out here tonight. FTF, anytime we get on the airwaves. YouTube always seems the place to be, but seeing healthy crowds on, definitely Facebook jumping out there. YouTube's doing great. Twitch TV, if you haven't followed that yet, guys, we have a lot going on there we'll talk about in the next couple of hours. We're on the air, but let's talk about this caution flag, Todd. The second one of the night, Carpenter and Jake Poulin involved. Really can't say whether there's blame, but let's see what happened.
There was some stack up front of here, the 39, and I believe that's Columbia here driving the number 39 machine. So we're going to watch what happens with the 39. We're going to ride far chase here with the 39 machine and just watch how he has to check up here for Sonny Tallman. It was a chain reaction effect. Unfortunately, Corey Carpenter got in the back. He didn't get the memo that everybody else was checking up in front of him, and unfortunately he was there 39 goes for a ride, a spin, a loop-de-loo. Makes a little bit more contact. Man, he's a subcompact forward focus now here as Columbia now relegated to the rear. But I do believe it was one of those factors of chain reaction checkup, Phil, and it's one of those things I would call a racing deal.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's probably going to be the call, as there was a big stack up there. And, yeah, the 39 tonight, that's Arnold's car, but that's Jake pulling out there. I think that shows the gamesmanship, the way these team points play out, Todd. You hire in some, faster bullets to improve some of these, driver points, owner points, the team points. That's Jake pulling out there. And Arnold's number 39 tonight, him and Corey making contact there. But it looks like, as you said, a big stack up. Some cars maybe not coming up to speed the way they needed to, and it just kind of set off a chain reaction where both of those guys go around. Don't think anybody there caught too much damage too terribly. So hopefully it'll get back sorted out, and we'll get back to some green flag racing here. As that first 25 laps we spent under green really showed this racetrack is in great condition. Looks like the setup for these guys is really good. So I think we're going to see a lot of great racing here. 167 laps of distance. We're going to be on lap 30 next time around. We're only going to have 10 laps to go here in stage number 1. Now you start talking about playoff points. You look currently in the top 10. You find Kevin McAdams. You find Taylor Morgan's. Justin Malello's up at the top 5. Kyle Riley's up there in the top 10 running 6th. Cosman is running 7th. Chris Wett's back there in 11th. I mean, you have all these guys racing for playoff points. You got guys like Wetz that was on the pole. He's not in the 8th for the championship. I don't know why I always have a 71 programmed in, but Chris running 11th. But I believe they're going back here through the admin staff, looking back over the replay there, Todd. So I think it's going to be a little bit of an extended caution flag. But I'm going to agree with you out there. I think what we're going to see is, just a racing deal called.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was one of those things. It just guy made contact further up in front of him, and I didn't get a chance to actually review that portion. But you could see it there on the far chase. That's why I kind of went to the far chase view. You could see it there. The guy made contact, and it checked up the Sonny Tallman machine. It checked up quite a few drivers. Like I said, Corey Carpenter didn't get the memo. He didn't see. He was probably just looking down to try to get ready here for this restart and trying to get up through that gearbox. And unfortunately, that was not what he wanted to do. He looked up and bam, he was right there. I mean, they happen so quick.
Well, it's going to happen quick on the restarts. They do have the spacing rule here at FTF, but sometimes it just happens too fast, especially at the back of the field when you're already panicking. You got to get up through the gears. You got to get things working. So we're going to see what's going on here. But we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. The call came in. We were 1 to go. So it's going to be Taylor Morgans and Isaac Gann going to lead the field back to green. David Schildhouse, Kyle Riley, Brandon Hawken going to make an appearance up into the top 5 here as we're off of turn number 4. Waiting for the pace car under that green flag to unfurl. We're about 100 yards from that. They get to the restart zone. Green flag back up in the air. We're back racing here with 10 laps to go in stage number 1.
Got 10 laps to go here in stage number 1, and Taylor Morgan's now out to about 2.5 car length advantage here over the number 26 of McAdams. McAdams running in 2nd. 3rd right now is the number 34 of Isaac Gann. Gann right now trying to track down 26. Remember, he's not in the playoffs, so points really don't matter. He wants that big old W there in that 34 machine. Number 10 of Dave Schildhouse, same way goes for him. I see rookie stripes on the back of that. That's not the case here for David Schildhouse. Yeah, I don't know who he's trying to fool out there in that number 10 machine. He's no rookie. Out there running in that 4th spot. 5th right now is the 43 machine of Kyle Riley, Phil. So these guys, you can see where the Verizon logo is, the Verizon across their windshield banner. That red logo that shows the chase, like I said, it's a chase format here for those guys. They are actually still involved in this 8-man chase here, the FTF Verizon Cup chase. So that's what you can tell these guys by looking at Kyle Riley's car. He's got that red right across of it.
Absolutely right. And, one of those guys, if they pull off a win here tonight, they bypass having to transfer their way in at ISM next week. They get all the way out there to the Homestead Miami Speedway in a couple of weeks here at FTF. Yes, I did say a couple of weeks. It's going to be 3 weeks, not 2 weeks from tonight, as the guys at FTF, sounds like a lot of the staff is going to meet up there at the actual Homestead Miami Speedway for championship night for the Monster Energy Cup Series. So FTF asked if we could postpone the main event back to the 25th. So the weekend between ISM, we're going to have a week off after, and then we'll crown a champion here in 3 weeks at Homestead. So just to keep you guys abreast of the schedule of what this series is going to be over the next couple of weeks. But I saw some good racing going on, Todd, for the 7th spot between Cosman's number 24 and the 5 of David Day. They raced tooth and nail side by side for a lap and a half. That's sorted out now, but Cosman able to make his way around the 5. He started outside that, he started around 9th or 10th on the restart. Keep an eye on Cosman. I think he's a guy at Texas, especially in these weird layouts like we got here. I think the 24 is going to have a really good car here tonight. On the short list of guys, I think it's going to contend for a win.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now we got a battle going on for that 3rd spot between Schildhouse and number 26 of McAdams. McAdams drifts up the track, leaves it wide open for the number 10 of David Schildhouse. Schildhouse around McAdams. Also the 43 of Kyle Riley around McAdams. So McAdams dropping through the field just a little bit. Meanwhile, Isaac Gann running in that 2nd spot now in that number 34 machine. Schildhouse in 3rd. They're starting to track down the number 36 of Taylor Morgan's coming off the corner here down the back straightaway.
Yeah, they absolutely are. The 34 starting to cut into the lead of the 36. And we talked to Isaac last week at Victory Lane. He said if Taylor don't make a mistake, he's a guy to win here each and every week. 2 very talented drivers up front. And you look at the number 10, David Schildhouse, series champion 2 years ago. He knows his way around here at FTF. He knows how to get around these racetracks. Then you look back to 4th, you find Kyle Riley, who has had a superb season over here at FTF. Comes in tonight, 8th in the standings. Needs a really good run, maybe a win to get in scenario. I think you'd like to accomplish that here tonight in Texas, before, he gets, wants to bypass ISM, because that flat 1 mile, Todd, it's a fun racetrack, but you never know the way of that new configuration and how that's going to play out. So a lot to sort out. Kyle Riley currently running 4th. You got to like the where he's sitting right now as far as needing a good positive night to get himself rolling.
Yeah, definitely having to have a positive night, and he's doing a good job there in that 43 machine. He's working in that 4th spot, but McAdams running 5th. 6th still is Cosman there in that number 24 machine. Go see if he is going to have to make some headway. He did finally get around the number 25 machine of Brandon Hawken. Hawken right now running in 7th. 8th is David Day. He's the last car here in this little bit of group here from 1st through 8th. Then you go back to a 2nd group being led by the 71 of Chris Wetz, the 028 machine of Blake McCandless, Jordan Buster. Then you got Michael Frischkin, the 01 machine, that True North machine, trying to make his way back up through. And then you also have the 37 of Ryan Naraki. Naraki's car, one of those cars I've been taking a look at, was one of those cars that I got to give a shout out to Ryan Naraki. It looks awesome here tonight in that number 37 machine, but having a good battle here with the number 9 of Brandon Lawson, another championship contender here tonight. But I tell you what, there's battles going on through the 2nd pack, Phil, all over.
Oh, I've been kind of migrating outside the top 10, and I'm right around where the 44 of Brian Mercurio is. The 53 of Justin Bolello is back there. The 80 of Cody Erdman. Brandon Lawson's up there. It's right around where the 37 of Naraki is. That is a gaggle full of race cars of that 2nd pack. From 9th all the way back to about 18th. I see Corey Carpenter starting to run down that pack now. He's around Nick Baker's 79. So from 9th all the way back to 18th, these guys are, stacking it up good, really good. But that was a stage checker, I believe, off of turn 4, as lap 40 was up on the board, and the yellow flag, I believe, comes out on the racetrack here right at the end of stage 1. Looks like the Cody Erdman number 80 may have been involved in something, but I believe stage number 1 just came to a close. Taylor Morgan's going to pick up the stage win with Isaac Gann, David Schildhouse, Kevin McAdams, and Kyle Riley making up your top 5. Cosman finishing up 6th. Brandon Hawkins 7th. David Day 8th. Chris Wetz 9th. And Blake McCandless. That's your top 10 here at the end of stage number 1. They don't do yellow flags after the stage ends, Todd, but a caution on the racetrack. Issues with the 80 car of Cody Erdman that was right in the middle of where all that racing was going on. Cody had something happen there. Not sure if he was in the back of somebody or, that gaggle of race cars that was around him. You got to think all the turbulent air that was back there. There's a lot of stuff kicking up. So the 80 car involved. I'm not sure if it collected anybody else, but I'm going to let you be the guy, that takes a breath on all that. But show us what happened. The 80 car of Cody Erdman goes around.
So again, we're going to go from helicopter view here, and this does collect one of our chase contenders here, and unfortunately it's Justin Malello here in the 53 machine. That Freaky Fest number 80 machine did not have his car file. We did download those car files right before that, so I know that they were there. He comes back up track. Looks like he just got loose. Try to save it. He locks it up, comes back up, and collects Justin Malello. And around goes Justin Malello in a spinning pirouette. And unfortunately, he makes more contact to the wall. Justin Malello probably not real happy here with that number 80 machine. As Malello now, he was on the outside looking in here tonight and very close to that cutoff line. Man, the 53 now with some damage.
Yeah, Malello definitely getting some damage there in the 53 in here. And, yeah, that looks like you had the freaky fast car on your screen. So maybe here under this caution flag, Todd, if you get a chance, maybe you could reset your connection there to see if those cars maybe do show up as maybe it was one of those cases you were in the server, or maybe not. So, I don't know, whatever happened down there, we'll see what happens, because I see now I downloaded all those cars, and there's a couple even on my screen kind of out right there. So, I don't know, issues happening here all over Full Velocity TV tonight here. Is sometimes these gremlins happen out here in this old sim, getting this thing on the air, and looks like Justin's car file may have been one of those. But yeah, that car definitely had some damage. He definitely has some damage there. It wasn't Justin's number 53. It was Cody Erdman's number 80 car that was around there. And I do see that one as well as one of those good-looking, freaky, fast rental cars. So, well, his car must have not uploaded there. So it got me a little bit confused, as I don't like seeing rental cars just as much as everybody else does. But now under the caution flag for the third time tonight, working lap now number 43. We're into the start of stage number 2. And now, how do you think this changes the complexion, or does this change the complexion? You know, you've had guys like Taylor, like Isaac up there, Taylor getting stage points, Kevin getting stage points, Kyle Riley badly needing some playoff points, getting at stage points. Do you think this changes the way these guys approach stage number 2, knowing that that third stage is 87 laps in distance, or do you use the same battle plan through stage 2 that you may have used in stage 1, Todd?
Yeah, you just want to play consistent there and get those points. Taylor Morgans has a lot of points he's accumulated in that 36 machine over a little bit of time here, and able to have a little bit more of a cushion than some of these other guys. So you're going to see a lot of these guys gamble here on some of their pit stops, maybe in the early stages, to see if they can pick up the extra 2 or 3 points there to try to get themselves here in front of the cutoff line. Is Malello now with the damage on that 53 machine? I could imagine he's going to be able to get some of it repaired, but he's going to be hurting just a little bit aerodynamically wise. So we're going to have to see if 53 can make his way up through the field here and make up some playoff points, or what's going to go on with the 53. Is he's right there, like I said, 5th here. I believe, what was he, Phil? 14 points out, 9 points out, somewhere in there of the cutoff line. So he's rather close.
Yeah, I believe I'm going to go back and see if I can't retrieve it real quick, but I believe he was 12 points out of that cutoff line. So needed a decent run, but, you know, I talked to Justin pre-race, said his car was a little bit off, was really struggling here tonight, but was kind of really, you know, I just want to weather the storm and have a solid night, and I'm really envisioning this is not what he envisioned, you know, having to rebound now from a wreck and some tore-up race cars, and, you know, we'll see what the 53 can do over the course of the evening here on Full Velocity TV. So I believe we're getting ready to go back to green. Looks like these guys are all doubled up in formation. Kevin McAdams and Taylor Morgan's going to lead the field back to green. David Schildhouse, Isaac Ann, and Cosman make up your top 5. They're in the restart zone. They're stomping on those throttle pedals. Green flags back in the air.
And green flags back in the air, and McAdams going to lead them down here into turn number 1. The 26 Doritos sponsor machine. The 36 Taylor Morgan's going to be second. Third is Isaac Gann, David Schildhouse, and Brandon Hawkins. That is your top 5 right now. As they're running down the back straightaway, McAdams trying to pull away from Taylor Morgan's. Morgan's not letting him get away here. About a 2-car length advantage, a 2-car length cushion there between the 36 and the 26, Phil.
Yeah, and you want to see the biggest comer on the restart, Todd? Look no further than the 43 car of Kyle Riley. Restarted 7th, made quick work of Cosman's number 24, made a great pass on a 25 of Brandon Hawkins. Kyle Riley trying to make something happen here tonight, currently 8th in the standings. He is now up with the top 5, and that car is boogieing. He's got 3 car lengths between himself and David Schildhouse. Now here comes the 10. He's on the inside of the 34. Good side-by-side race for third to turn 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, a pass for the lead has happened. The 36 Taylor Morgan's got around the 26 of Kevin McAdams, but Morgan's the P number 1. P2 is now the 26 of McAdams. David Schildhouse running in 3rd. 4th is Isaac Gann, and Kyle Riley running in 5th. 6th is right now David Day, Mr. Excitement. He's trying to work his way up through here down the back straightaway. He's trying to catch Kyle Riley, trying to get himself up here in the top 5. But now David Schildhouse down to the bottom of McAdams. McAdams drifting up the track. He's going to lose 2 spots here through the corners. 1 to David Schildhouse, the other one to the 34 of Isaac Gann. But David Schildhouse to P2.
At David Sheldhouse up to that second spot, having a good run. McAdams dropping some positions there. Now back to fourth. Good side-by-side race now for the fifth spot. Here comes David Day. He's to the inside of Kyle Riley. Thought he may complete the pass off of turn number 2, but that flat corner really stacked him up. Day going to drive in deep. Riley in the middle. McAdams up high. 3 wide through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 wide there for a moment in the number 5 of David Day. Able to get it by the 26 of Kevin McAdams. Same way with the 43 of Kyle Riley. Those guys now set their sights on the 2 guys right directly in front of them, which is the 34 of Isaac Gann and the 10 of David Sheldhouse. Isaac Gann able to get around the 10 of David Sheldhouse for P2. Here comes David Day down to the bottom side of the number 43 of Kyle Riley, side by side. Day down on the bottom here in 5th right now, battling for 4th with Kyle Riley.
And David Day, something a little fire under his rear end here tonight. Now down to the inside of that 43, racing for that 4th spot through turns number 1 and 2. 5 going to slide it up the hill. Kyle stays glued there. The 5 back to the throttle. They're going to drag race down the backstretch. You can see all the momentum. That 43 gets up high, being able to use all that banking on the racetrack into turn number 3. The 5 car drives in there deep. He's got all the traction there. David Day up to P4 as they exit turn 4.
Flashing by the start-finish line here, David Day, like you said, position number 4, 43 of Kyle Riley, now drops back to P number 5, now into the hands of the number 25 of Brandon Hawkins, flashing back down the back straightaway here, Phil. They're pretty much single file, nobody jumping out of line, besides the 01 down to the inside, I believe, of the number... I'm not sure who that was. The 01 down to the inside. I believe it was Cosman. Him and the Cosman machine, the 24 machine, starting to battle here. True North Motorsports making up a lot of positions there in the number 01. That is Michael Frisch. So Frisch having a good run there in that 01 machine again. Yeah,
we saw him make a, he basically destroyed the 44 of Brian Mercurio, but both of those guys able to rebound back into the top 10. Mercurio up in 10th. Michael Frisch currently running 8th last time around to that 01, having a great run. That True North machine, that 01 car, that 01 team, racing for an owner's championship and one of the more solid cars all season. Jake Pullman drove that car almost all the way right into the FTF season playoffs here. Jake Pullman was on the outside looking in through that first round. So Jake had a really good run in the car. Michael Frisch hired these last couple of weeks, and he has given it a really game ride. We've seen him on the podium last week here, Todd, at the Martinsville Speedway. So Michael Frisch, he has been a player here at FTF. That 01, maybe not in the far for the driver championship, but definitely a loud player as far as those owner points go.
Yeah, like you said, he has a 5-point advantage here over second place in the 36 of Taylor Morgan's there in the owner points. So he's trying to win something there, but man, having another solid top 10 run in the 01 machine. He's hoping for a top 5, maybe even a win here tonight on Full Velocity TV. There's Michael Frisch having a great run, like you said, at Texas. But Taylor Morgan's, meanwhile, out front, showing the quickest way around here. That number 36 fast break machine here in the 34 of Isaac Gann. Not letting him get away, about two and a half car lengths between himself and Gann. So we're going to have to see if Gann can close the gap here on the 36 of Morgan's.
Yeah, we do got to pay attention to that. And also something else I observed, Todd, off this restart, we saw Kevin McAdams start near the front. We've seen, what was the old name in there I was thinking? Kyle Riley's 43 was up there. I have watched both of those cars start backpedaling through the field, especially McAdams, who was up in the top 5. You got to look all the way down to the 13th position right now where you find that number 26, and he's having a good little battle there with himself and the 8 car of Jordan Buster. So I wonder if Kevin maybe come down pit road, maybe try down a 2-tire strategy. Whatever he did, I'm going to see if I can't chase down that story, because McAdams usually think is going to be up in the top 5. Well, now outside the top 10 right now, and even battling to maybe stay inside the top 15 at this juncture.
Yeah, definitely battling for his life there in that number 26 machine, trying to get his points right now behind the number 30 of Corey Carpenter, who has had some issues there. Corey Carpenter still running 12th there, but able to catch him up just a little bit there in the 26 machine. So you got 3 guys back to back to back here, even 4 guys I should say. Brandon Lawson, number 9, he's running 10th. 11th is the number 24 Cosman, 12th Corey Carpenter, and Kevin McAdams. 4 drivers out of 8 here, right in this little gaggle of cars here from 11th on back to 14th.
And I was just kind of doing some back channel reconnaissance work, trying to find out, and I don't want to say, but it sounds like there could be a little bit of You know, strategy being employed out there by a lot of drivers out there through the field. Not going to give away no names or whatever, but you guys can watch comers and goers on your screen and maybe thinking about fuel mileage that may come in before the end of the stage. We started talking about lap number, 43, 44, so you got to think 36 laps at Texas. That's a long way to make it on fuel, so you got to think these guys that are all running, they may come about 2, 3, maybe 4 laps short, so that'll be something we keep an eye on here as we approach the end of the stage. Who's going to elect to come in and pit early and maybe set themselves up for the third stage, or who may gamble and need those playoff stage points here when we get toward lap 80 in about 20 laps?
Yeah, definitely. Who's going to gamble? I'm not sure who. Might be the 26 rolling the dice. Might be the 30. Might be the 24. Those guys not pressing the issue as of right now. Kyle Riley looks like he's backed out of it a little bit in that 43 machine. He's fallen back into the clutches here of the 26 of Kevin McAdams. That is a battle for that 10th spot there, Phil. So they're about middle of the pack here. The 9, the 43, the 26, the 24. Those guys all comfortable with riding there. Meanwhile, Taylor Morgan setting a pretty torrid pace there. 28.614 last time by 189.096 miles an hour. That is quite a bit faster than Isaac Gann, who is running second, 188.832. So Isaac Gann came in with a 28.654. So you can just see how much faster right now Taylor Morgan's is than the rest of the field.
Yeah, he's starting to lay it to him for sure. Him and Isaac Gann pulling away. Schulthouse running third. David Day fourth. Brandon Hawken having a really good run. We've seen Brandon jump in Randall Coleman's 25 car a lot these last couple of weeks. He has really given those cars some really, really good solid runs. So Brandon Hawken up in the top 5. Blake McCandless is 028, currently 6th. Michael Frisch 7th. Brandon Lawson 8th. Kevin McAdams 9th. Brian Mercurio, after having a disastrous wreck early there, Todd, you thought his run may have been over? Well, Brian Mercurio has rebounded. He's got the 44 car back into the top 10. That's a hell of a rebound for not only him, but the 01. You thought both those cars were destroyed. They've got good, solid top 10 efforts going.
Yeah, definitely. I thought their cars were going to be a little bit worse for the wear, but their pit crews did a fantastic job down there on pit road, able to get those guys pretty much aerodynamic safe, and they're able to move up through the field there. And, oh, man, just playing it real easy there. The 44, Brian Mercurio. Like I said, he's not no longer. He was eliminated just a little bit ago. A few races ago in that 44 machine, unfortunately, there. And right now running 11th. And he's trying to go for that W here tonight. So he's trying for everything that he can get in that 44 machine.
He really is. And I'm kind of going back here, Todd. I'm trying to find some good battles. And I want to steer you back to where the 44 Mercurio is. The 30 of Carpenter. Cosman's 24 is back there. Those guys off of turn 2 this last time. They were almost 4 wide. It looks tame now. I can just assure you it was not, as they have all sorted out back into a single file formation. Kyle Riley's back there, the 43. I see Phil Parker's 11 car. I believe Phil is 2 laps down, but those guys all splitting around. We saw Cosman get passed by the 44 and the 30. So good racing going on back there. You also got to look outside the top 10 right now, Todd. I wish I got to it sooner, but those guys know those sooner than a lap and a half ago. They were 4 wide off of turn number 2. That was a cool picture. I just wish I got to it in time for you to see it.
Now, sometimes we miss all the different kinds of camera angles that are going on, all the great battles going on throughout the track. We can't get every single one of them, but we're still seeing some nice battles here between the 30 of Corey Carpenter, Brian Mercurio, and the 24 of Cosman. Looks like Kyle Riley starting to fall back into the clutches of these guys. So they've been fighting tooth and nail still, Phil. I mean, now they're single file once again, but there was some side-by-side. Not quite 4 wide, not quite 3 wide. They were 2 by 2, but they were still putting on a good show.
And I'm looking up into finding more, and I'm going back into the top 10 and finding some good racing going on. I found the 26 of Kevin McAdams, him and David Day having a really good run. Also believe that's the 028 of Blake McCandless right there in the mix as well. And good battles going on there. That's racing for about the 6th spot. McAdams able to drive right up around these guys, so I think the 26 may have been saving maybe some fuel, maybe some tire, not quite sure. I think these guys are probably about, my guess, 2 to 3 laps short. Can you save that over the course of a 35-lap run at Texas, Todd? Can you save, what is it, about 4.5 to 6 miles worth of fuel?
Yeah, you definitely can save it, but you're going to be off the throttle quite a bit. You got to be rolling onto the clutch, rolling around. That's looking like what they're doing here through the corner. Just rolling on the clutch, hitting the clutch, and just saving that fuel. Yeah, you definitely can save that amount of fuel, Phil. You just got to do it right. It's on the clutch. You can watch the nosedive as they're like the 43 of Kyle Riley, the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Just watch the nosedive just a little bit. They're hitting the clutch. They're saving a little bit of fuel. They're cutting the power off at the engine. Yeah, they're backpedaling just a little bit, but they're saving that fuel.
Well, there are definitely some gamesmanship going on for stage points that'll be paid out in about 10 laps from now. 70 going to go on the board next time around, so going to be 10 laps to go here in stage number 2, and that's not going to be quite the halfway point of the race here, as 167 laps make up the full distance for the Chromatic Designs 400K being run out here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Thanks to all you that are tuned in tonight here live on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and also on Twitch TV. So great to see you all tune in as all of a sudden my sound on my other ear decides to start going out. So great racing going on there. Looking about that 26 of McAdams is. We saw some him conserving a little bit, but he is back on the prowl there. But can he run down these top 4 cars? Kevin up to that 5th spot now, but he was 5 seconds behind Taylor Morgans and Isaac Anho running nose to tail. Can Kevin saving enough there, Todd? Has he given up too much time to run down these leaders, or is it not going to matter as we still have about 90 laps of this race plus still to go?
It's going to be rather a tall task for the 26 Kevin McAdams right now. Last time by ran at 29.116, 185.836 miles an hour. That's faster than Taylor Morgan's or Isaac Ganton is running right now. So he is running them down at a pretty good clip. 183 miles an hour for Taylor Morgan's, 185 for Kevin McAdams. McAdams has saved enough fuel, I do believe, in that 26 machine, so he's going to be able to track him down. Right now, 3.5 back, so it's going to be a tall task there, Phil.
Well, and I think you're seeing some of those guys that decided, well, I can't save enough fuel to make it to the end, or let that thing run out dry. I think we saw the 24 of Cosman. He's been out on pit road. The 8 car of Jordan Buster is down. The 028 of Blake McCandless on pit road. The 9 of Brandon Lawson has been in. The 5 of David Day. All these guys coming in, taking 4 tires, going to get these things all packed full of fuel. So maybe they can't make it from here on gas. Obviously, if they've all come down, they certainly couldn't make it. So 4 tires and fuel for all those guys I just mentioned. Also, Cody Erdman was in. I believe Steve Rada's number 3 car about to roll on down. Brandon Hawkins, number 25. He is down on the pit lane now, so they definitely were all short. Now the 26 of McAdams, we thought he was saving some to make the end of the stage. It sounds like, Todd, he couldn't do so as well as that Dorito Chevrolet. He is now pitted his way out of the top 5 on the pit road.
Yeah, 26 of Kevin McAdams did not save enough fuel. Hopefully we'll see what he can do this time by and see what else he can muster. Is now he's going, looks like he's going to get 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on the 26 machine. Right side tires going on. Looks like they're going to go around to the left sides. Left side tires up in the air. So 4 tires is the call here for Kevin McAdams. Could not make it on field here, Phil. So we're going to have to wait and see if anybody else is going to make it and who's going to run out if they try it.
Well, we have our race leaders now on pit road. Taylor Morgans is in. Isaac Gann is in. David Schildhaus is in. Taylor was pitting all the way down toward the exit of turn 4, so I got to him first. He's got left side tires going on now. 4-tire pit stop for the race leader, Taylor Morgans. 4 for David Schildhaus, and all the way down here toward the turn 1 side of pit road, I believe Isaac Gann, he's got to be taking 4 tires. So the race leaders are in 5 laps short of our stage 2 distance. So this one may cycle all the way back around, as I don't believe Michael Frisch or Kyle Riley, I believe those are the 2 drivers left yet to come to pit road. I don't think there's no way. If those guys are pitting now, there's no possible way those guys are going to make it all the way.
Now Kyle Riley right now out there, he's running around the track trying to do the best that he can do here on lap 76 of 167. Trying to get to stage end here. Kyle Riley needed as many points as he can. And he's out there, he's coasting around, he's punching that clutch in that 43 machine, using a little bit of strategy, going to see if he can make it through there, and hopefully he can here in that 43 machine.
Yeah, I just found him. I was like, I couldn't have missed him on pit road yet, and the answer is, well, hell no. He's out there. I would say you can hear the engine through the corner, but I just popped in the in-car, engine silent, so definitely out there trying to make these last couple of laps here, see if he can't pick up just precious playoff points for that 43 car. It's going to be 78 up on the board here, so can he make 2 more circuits around? Can he pick up the win in stage number 2? You look up front, you hear all these cars screaming on by. Isaac Gann goes by. Taylor Morgans goes by. So those guys all want fresh tires, full tanks of fuel. They don't got nothing to save. They get unlapped themselves. It just shows you the rate of speed those guys have versus what Kyle Riley has, doing all he can to conserve up front.
And not only is Kyle Riley conserving what he can there, Phil, so is the number 53 machine of Justin Malalo, Jake Poulin, Zach Buchanan. Those guys all out there trying to save, watching the 9 flash by, the 28 flash by. So he is losing a lot of time here, but that shows you how much these stage points matter here. Kyle Riley trying to take down here the victory here at stage number 2, and he's got a few laps to do it. And can Kyle Riley make it here on that field strategy?
Oh, we're going to have to wait and see off of turn number 2. I believe, I don't know if I heard that car sputter or not, but definitely working that clutch pedal, watching the entire field roll around. And I think it's the best drama on the racetrack right now, guys, is you see all these cars unlapping themselves. The 9 of Lawson, McCandless has been around him. Brandon Hawk and I believe Kevin McAdams making their way around them all now. So one more trip around here. Stage white. Can Kyle Riley keep this thing running all the way back to our stage checker here at lap number 80? He is off of turn number 2, Todd, and that thing is just walking down the backstretch.
Yeah, definitely walking down the back straightaway here into turn number 3 here, trying to pick up the stage win here in the 43 machine. He is going to go down onto pit road here, Phil. That's going to be something different here. Is he going to actually be able to pick up the stage? We're going to wait and see, Phil, as he's coming down the pit road to the attention of his pit crew.
Well, I think it was stage checker this time at the line. I think coming down to pit road speed, I think Justin Malello officially picks up stage number 2 with the 43 down to pit road, but Kyle's going to get second in the stage. Ryan Araki currently scored third. Waiting for timing and scoring. Nope, it's going to be Isaac Gann third. Taylor Morgan's fourth and looking for timing to reset. Brandon Lawson's going to be 5th. Blake McCandless 6th. Cosman 7th. Brandon Hawk in 8th. Kevin McAdams 9th. And David Schildhaus currently your top 10, but we saw Riley in, and I got to think one more trip around, we're going to see the 53 of Justin Malello. He is definitely going to have to make his way toward pit side. Here he is now.
Yeah, putting the top 10 on the screen here for Full Velocity TV. Now everything's switching around there, but the top 10 we just seen there momentarily as it switched around. Justin Malello picking up the stage number 2 win, and a lot of points there, crucial points there for the 53 machine, being right there at that cutoff line, Phil.
Yeah, and everybody's going to bring the attention to his pit crew, and I almost wonder how that's going to play out over the course of the rest of this run. He picked up a stage win, gets max stage points, but yes, he did win stage number 2 there, and now comes to pit road for 4 tires. 4 tires in, the fuel is full, so the FedEx Chevrolet, car number 53 of Justin Malello, he's at the exit of his pit crew. Maybe once he sorts out Todd, I want to hear what he's thinking as far as what that strategy was, because that was a ballsy move. Him and the 43 both needing stage points. They finished 1-2 in stage number 2 by saving gas. We'll have to see how this plays off over the course of now the longer run. 84 laps up on the board. 87 makes up as this is a stage 3, so we're running this entire 167 out, and I believe this time around, we can officially say we are halfway home.
Yeah, I can officially say we are definitely halfway home, Phil, and this stage is going to be a lot longer. Looking up front of the 34, who is currently your race leader, Isaac Gann. You see the 43 machine of Kyle Riley. He is 27 seconds back, in danger of going a lap down after the strategy that he tried to pull and picking up second place here in the stage points. So he tried to get as many points as he can. He got 9 out of that stage, and 10 goes to the number 53, Justin Malello. You'll see what Malello, how much that hurt Malello here in the 53. Looks like he's going to fall 1 lap down to the rears here in the 53 machine. So unfortunate there. He goes 1 lap down, but he did pick up those 10 points.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that, because now he's 1 lap down to the field. But, Justin, you pick up a big win for you in stage number 2. First of all, I know you had some damage to the race car. How is it so far? Is it still running strong, or was that something that you did there predicated on damage to your race car to maybe make that gamble?
Oh yeah, the damage to the car, we're definitely running down a cylinder or 2 right now. We're not fast after the damage that we sustained from the 80 car, losing Talon into 1. But I got on the team radio, and my teammate in the 37 was gonna go with the same strategy as myself, and we decided that was the way to go. I mean, I pretty much right now I'm running in 24th. I'd probably get up to about maybe a 22nd if this race goes green the rest of the way. I was probably going to finish 20th anyway. So, I mean, I gave up 2 positions for 10 at this point. So I'm very excited about the win. I'm very disappointed in the condition of my car, and I'm hoping that things turn around in my favor for the rest of this race.
Now, what do you think here as you look here to the back part of this race? I know you get your hands full out there in traffic, but, you know, the race car off, does it open the door? Is there any more strategy gamble that you can play to put yourself up there in a good finishing position at the end of this thing? And if you got to take a second to make this pass and you're up on the screen, you're down on the inside of a 222. But when you can, chime in on that. Is there anything you can do here to the end part of this race to maybe change that strategy and maybe score max points again?
Well, I just got to have luck fall my way. I got to stay in, you know, on this lap and hope for the cautions to fall where I can get back on the lead lap. And if that happens, if we can get the right cautions, then I think we might have a shot for a better finish. I know we don't have race-winning speed anymore, but I mean, anything's possible. We all know, you know, this is FTF, and crazier stuff has happened.
True story spoken from a guy right there. Well, Bud, I know you're out there racing. We're following on the screen to the inside of Nick Baker. Racing out there currently, I believe, 22nd, one lap down. Good luck the rest of the night, Bud. We'll talk to you here in the post-race show. Good luck.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, I will put Justin Malello back down to the team headquarters down there to the Speed Inc. room. We'll let him get back to working them strategy. But what a great move there to pick up the win in stage number 2. And as he said, Todd, the race car was tore up. He had to do something here, may have salvaged 2 spots on the racetrack, but for max points gained from the stage points, that's a trade I'd make all day if I was in his boat.
Yeah, definitely, Phil. I have to agree with what he did. Like you said, he only lost a couple positions because of that, but things could play out to his favor, too. He could have the cars fall just right for that machine and actually get up and finish up in the top 10. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out there for the 53. Justin Malello seems a little dejected. You could hear it in his voice about how fast his car is not now after the run-in with the number 80 machine. So Malello hopefully will have a good run here at Texas. He's just looking at the bigger picture here, getting those 10 playoff points.
Yeah, and I'm glad a guy like Justin, who does all he can do, not only you know, here for FTF being the owner, for all he does for this great league, all the drivers of us, has everything at disposal out here for these guys. Does a fantastic job with the league, and hope he can make something of us tonight here as he's racing for a championship. One of the good guys out in this community for sure. So working now, lap number 93, past the halfway mark. So what do you say we attempt here to take a swig of the drink, do a quick full field rundown here of the Chromatic Designs 400K, lap number 93 on the board. Your current race leader is the number 34 of Isaac Gann. A couple of car lengths back, we find Taylor Morgan's the number 36. Third on the racetrack is the 26 car of Kevin McAdams. He is 6.1 seconds behind our race leaders. Fourth, we find Brandon Lawson. David Schildhaus having a great run in the number 10. He's out there currently running 5th. Blake McCandless is 6th. Brandon Hawkins 7th. Michael Frisch is 8th. Cosman is 9th. David Day currently rounds out our top 10. Good battle back there between him and the 44 car of Brian Mercurio, who's 11th. Jordan Buster is 12th. Corey Carpenter 13th. Nick Baker is 14th. And Kyle Riley, the 43, he currently runs in the 15th position. Chris Emery, he is 16th. Cody Erdman's number 80, he is 17th. He's the last driver on the lead lap. 18th is Jake Poulin. In the number 39, he is 1 lap down, as is the 47 of Sonny Tallman. Zach Buchanan's number 19 is currently 20th. Justin Malello is 21st. Ryan Naraki, 22nd. Noah Carmichael, he is 23rd. He is 2 laps down. Also 2 laps down. 24th is the 11 of Phil Parker. 4 cars behind the wall full of night. The number 3 car of Steve Rada just pulled in, as did the number 71 of Chris Wetz, the 67 of Arnold Columbia, and the number 28 of Chris Barnes. So just about, an hour ago, we had 28 drivers take the green flag for the Chromatic Designs 400K at the Texas Motor Speedway. We have 24 of those drivers left on the racetrack, 17 left on the lead lap. And the story right now, Todd, how familiar is it? Isaac Gann and Taylor Morgan's with a commanding lead at FTF. I don't think I've ever said those words before.
Yeah, we've heard that time all the time there, Phil, here at FTF. Is 34 by Isaac Gann and Taylor Morgan seem to almost run about identical lap times here after the last couple of laps. Just watching the 34, he may be just a tick quicker than the 36. But again, to watch Morgan's as he's faster on the longer run. We'll see if he can catch the number 34 by Isaac Gann. But 6 seconds back is Kevin McAdams. That shows you how much he was trying to save fuel and how much time he actually lost to these two up front here trying to get those points. And he's right now running in third, like I said, 6.053 back. David Shellhouse another 8.9 seconds back, and he's losing even more, 9.233 back. So, man, that's one of those things, Phil, that just some of the strategy calls that they made lost precious seconds, but they did pick up some points here. Just watching Cody Ortman and the number 80 machine, he's going to be the next car to go one lap down to the field here. He's 28.633, and I believe he is now one lap down. They get by that number 80 machine. So Chris Emery will be the next one here in the triple deuce, I should say, going to go a lap down. So that will put 15 cars on the lead lap once they catch Emery.
Yeah, and I think they're going to do that here as they work their way down the backstretch this time. So looks like when the triple two goes one lap down, 15 drivers will be left on the lead lap. Isaac Gain and Taylor Morgans, they're putting a hurting on the field, but the fastest car on the racetrack right now, Todd, it may be the number 26 of Kevin McAdams. As he is starting to carve into the advantage. What was about 6.5 seconds is now 5.9 last time around. 26 is a really good piece at this moment.
Yeah, definitely has a good piece there, Phil. The 26 Kevin McAdams last time by 185.753 to 185.162 for Isaac Gain. So indeed, the fastest on the track as of right now, besides Justin Malello. Malello actually running 185.035. He may be better off than he thinks he is right now on those older on new tires, but he's able to make his way up through there. So they're running pretty good lap times there. But the 53 probably second quickest here as of right now.
Well, that's good to see him rebounding, finding a good race start going on for position number 5. Michael Frisch has gone around Blake McCandless down to the inside of Brandon Hawken. Michael Frisch, number 01, he has just been a heavy banger here through these FTF Series playoffs. Now 01 racing for an Owners Championship. Look at, the Owners Championship, the 01, the team championship for that car as well. Michael Frisch now up into the top 5. A name we don't know a lot about. I know Jake Poulin been in that car all year long, but Michael Frisch, he has really, stamped himself as a contender every time he enters a pit area at FTF.
It definitely has a good piece underneath him each and every week, and looks like he's able to run really, really stout here with the competition at FTF, and doing a good job wheeling that 01 machine for Jake Poulin, and having some good finishes there. And that's put that True North Motorsports machine up atop of the owner points, and that's what he needs here, is as many top 5 finishes as he can, maybe even a win if he could do that too, because right now Taylor Morgan's sitting second would take over, I believe, the owner's points lead here. So the 01 and Michael Frisch trying to do everything he can to stay with the 36 as much as he can.
Yeah, and Todd, I'm seeing our race the chatter going on. I saw the 028 coming on pit road. The 8 of Jordan Buster, Cosman's number 24, Noah Carmichael 76. The 80 of Cody Erdman, Corey Carper's 30 car, Brandon Hawkins number 25. We're in another gaggle round of green flag pit stops, working lap number 104. So you can expect these guys, our race leaders Isaac and Taylor, probably going to be about 3 or 4 laps behind these guys. Pit road is open. It is a feeding frenzy down there.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys going down pit road. Looks like Taylor Morgan's dropped off the pace just a little bit here. 1.156 back of the number 34 if Isaac can. Probably trying to save a little bit of fuel there in the 36 machine, trying to stretch it a little bit longer. So maybe a little bit less of a fuel run here for the 36. Trying to get to that gap right now, 105 of 167. So we got 62 laps remaining, Phil. I do believe they're going to have to make it on one more pit stop. So this won't be the last pit stop we see here of the evening.
No, they're going to have to make at least one more, and I think that's what you're seeing guys like Taylor maybe gauge right now is how much can I save? How much can I really risk to gamble? As I think 36, I hear him wheeling off the throttle. I think he's going to come to pit road this time. He absolutely is, and I also believe the 34 of Isaac Gain also jumping on the brakes coming down pit side. So the race leaders starting to make their way in. Let's cover the stop for the 36 this time as he hits the sign just perfectly. Right side tires going up on the air in the Reese's Fast Brake Chevrolet. Right side tires are off and done. They go over, now right side tires done, over to the left side tires. A little bit slow on the jack here as they get the left sides up. Looks like tire change going off there. Really quick fashion. The 2 cans of fuel is away. Taylor Morgan, he's back. He's pitted out of position number 2. He's got his service done with one more stop in this race at least left to make.
The crew drops the jack here on the 34 of Isaac Gain. We got to see that live on the screen. He's going to come out there just barely in front of the 36 of Taylor Morgan. He's going to re-inherit the lead after everything's said and done there, Phil. after all the green flag pit stops cycle their way through. As right now he's currently in front of Taylor Morgan's.
Yeah, and Todd, we go all the way back to the end of stage number 2. We saw Kyle Riley make that big extension, trying to make it, finishing up second. I thought we would stay out a little longer than he is, but here comes Kyle Riley's 43 car onto pit road, that Cheerios machine. Let's see what that 43 does here. Obviously, you got to think that Ford's going to take 4 tires. Right side tires going to go up in the air on the 43. Right side tire work pretty quick on the rights. They get that done. They swing over to the lefts. Looks like a really good, smooth, flawless stop going on for the 43. Left side tires are on. Waiting for that jack to fall. Gas is in. Kyle Riley going to rejoin the race. I really thought, Todd, after extending that last pit there for the end of stage 2, he would stay out longer. But maybe he burned his stuff up. Kyle Riley in for 4 tires. We'll see how he rolls out in that 43, trying to maximize all the points he can here tonight as well.
Yeah, trying to do that. Trying to kind of stay on sequence with some of these other guys now as the 43 machine. So see what he's going to have to do to keep up in the top few here for the 43 machine. So, man, Kyle Riley, good strategy. I do believe a good strategy call here for the 43, trying to get back here into sort of a kind of a sequence with their race leaders. But meanwhile, Isaac again inherited the lead back here in that number 34 machine. Taylor Morgan's is running second. Third is Zach Buchanan. Zach Buchanan, I do believe, stayed out here. He has not come down on pit road. Kevin McAdams and Blake McCandless round out your top 5.
Yeah, and I was just going to pick out that number 19 card. I'm going to give him the old get out of the way award because he's out there on the old tires playing the fuel game. And, he's got cars passing him 2 and 3 wide. We saw McAdams go around, Blake McCandless around him. I believe Brandon Hawkins, Justin Malello. I also see, I think we got the 47 car of Sonny Tolman maybe on the apron driving the wrong way. So definitely things happening there as Buchanan's going to pit the 19 out of the fray. So things are coming and going and happening at FTF in a very fast way right now there, Todd. But I saw the 19 on pit road. You saw caught some shenanigans with the 47 of Sonny Tolman. What the heck was going on there?
Yeah, it looks like Tolman just looped it by himself there in the 47 machine. And, yeah. He put it into reverse and started driving backwards for a little bit there, and was able to get it back around and stay out of the racing groove. That was the biggest thing there with the 47 of Sonny Tolman. That was a great thing to see live on Full Velocity TV here tonight, Phil.
Sonny, he's a really, really colorful character, and he's got that subway machine out there, and I'm glad he's got the subway going on because a guy likes to throw a party, if we can say so ourselves. Maybe he hangs out with our buddy E.J. Jones over there at DWR. But, yeah, Sonny Tolman was definitely around the wrong way, got pointed the wrong way. And when I saw that 47 come to pit road, Todd, it made a good, hard left-hand turn. So maybe he was hungry for a sandwich, maybe a drink. Who knows? All I know is Sonny Tolman's going to pull behind the wall. He's going to finish up 24th here this evening. So that's all I got from down here. What's going on back there trackside is Isaac Ann leading Taylor Morgan's by 1.4 seconds, and I've seen a couple of more cars sprinkle their way on and off the pit lane.
Yeah, a couple of cars coming down on the pit road, doing some of their different strategy calls. Going to try to get on the wires of one of these guys out here driving around, Phil, and see what their strategies are going to be. Hopefully you're able to get on the wire with one of the drivers, and hopefully we can pick it out here and see what their type of strategy for going. Oh, contact made right there live on the screen, and the 37 of Ryan Naraki was really slow, and 36 Taylor Morgan's had nowhere to go. Oh, Taylor Morgan's night just turned upside down.
Oh, man, I didn't catch that live. I had to go back and see it on a delay like everybody else, but you say some of these races, Todd, can just change on the drop of a dime and just completely out of nowhere. Taylor got caught there, and oh, man, that car took a lick to the left side. You got to think the motor was going to be hurt on that one. Things at Texas, they just turned around in a big, big way there. As you saw the contact, one car around on the screen, and Taylor Morgan's took maybe the hit of a night. I didn't think you could top the Mercurio hit, the Jake Poulin hit, but that's going to put us under the caution flag. I believe it's the 5th time here tonight, so it's going to put the lead back to Isaac and to Kevin McAdams. Taylor Morgan's was scored 3rd, but that car has to be just all sorts of tore up. We'll have to monitor the progress of 36 there, Todd, but that was a big hit. You hope it's not too bad, but the look, it just looked absolutely awful. I'm not sure what you got down there in the booth. What do you got for us for a Full Velocity TV replay you have time to go back there again and show that. I think you saw it in real time. But for guys like me who didn't see that all, I would love to see that again.
Well, we're going to do super slow motion here, Phil, on this replay. So we're trying to get the microphone all set up here. I really messed that up seeing this. So the 37 Ryan Naraki, kind of slow on the screen. Look how fast the 34 of Isaac Gang goes by him. And it was pretty quick here. Ryan Naraki just down at the bottom. Almost wondering if he was going to come out of the pit stop. And here at the last minute, I mean, the 37 has been running the same line here. And then 36 did not go up far enough. Misjudgment of maybe his front end there. The hood sometimes is really, really hard to judge. And Ryan Naraki running on the bottom here. And we're going to show this once again. Just real slow one more time. It looks like just Taylor Morgan misjudges it just a tad there. As he looks like he's trying to make a move to the outside, but just barely clips him. That's where sometimes that hitbox is. Look how close he was. We can just see it really slow, frame by frame. It's just, man, Taylor Morgan pounds that outside wall, and Ryan Naraki just running around still just like, huh? What happened? How'd that happen?
And I think what was happening there with Ryan, I believe he was coming onto pit road to pit that time too. So I don't know if he just misjudged the entrance there, or maybe hit it. Taylor comes up on him so fast. Golly, I mean, I feel really bad because in Ryan's shoes is really, he's posted that he's gonna pit. Maybe Taylor didn't see it. Maybe he just missed or misjudged him or whatever. But yeah, holy crap. 36 car all tore around. We'll have to monitor the progress of how that 36 is. I just did some off-air communication to him to see how that car is working out. So we'll monitor that progress after. We were gonna talk to Blake McCandless here. We'll talk to him here in a minute. He had to get all down on pit road and all sorted out. So we'll bring him into the conversation as well. We'll get a lot of these guys into the conversation we can if we get this thing stretched out over the next 50 laps. But here live on Full Velocity TV, got to thank our sponsors here tonight. Spataforta Firearms. Brendan, you're the man, buddy. SpatafortaFirearms.com. Go to the website. Check out the great product he has there. A lot of great stuff for sale. Got any questions, contact Brandon now. He's a great guy. He will take great care of you. I love advertising for small businesses. Brendan the Gent, you are the man out there. SpatafortaFirearms.com. Also have to thank the guys over at DirtSeries.com. Dirt-Series.com, a very great iRacing league. We've been broadcasting them every Thursday night with the Pro versus Super Late Model Series. It has been a good time. Those guys say, you know what, we want to do more about Full Velocity TV. We would like to put our name here on our nightly broadcast, and they did absolutely that, and we're thrilled they did so. Got to thank Josh and Earl and Jameson and the entire gang over at DirtSeries.com. Look these guys up. You're into iRacing, you're into the dirt stuff. Great bunch of guys over there as well. We'll see them this coming Thursday night here, live on Full Velocity TV. So, under the caution flag, believe this is number 5 of the night here, as the pad and pencil are not out there with me, but I don't know, Tom. What do you think? If we can make any kind of calls of what's going on, what do you think we're going to see over the next 50 laps? Isaac Gann and Taylor Morgan are pacing this thing. The only question there now, how is Taylor's race car, and does anybody have anything left for a bullet to throw at that number 34 this evening?
Man, it's going to be all lay on probably what happened to Taylor Morgan's car. His 34 of Isaac Gann has the car to beat here this evening. Can't count out Kevin McAdams, though, in the 26, or even Blake McCandless for that matter. Blake is now right there with those guys, and maybe conserving tires here in the longer run. If it stays a green flag, maybe McCandless will be able to stay with these guys now in that 028 machine. But McAdams right now sitting in second, so right now he's in the catbird seat behind Isaac Gann. But Gann has been the guy to beat here all evening long.
All right, so before we get back to the restart, under the green flag, I was paging our friend Mr. McCandless to see if he was able to come up for an interview, and he had to work out his sound. So we'll bring him up to the broadcast booth. He's been up in the top 10, basically the top 5 all night long. A guy who we know always runs these tires really, really clean. And Blake McCandless comes into the conversation. Now the 028 currently running third. We know Isaac's been really good here all night. Taylor's now tore up. What do you got left for a race car to challenge these guys for a win tonight, Blake?
I don't know. I've been trying to learn the track. 1 and 2 has been a real challenge for me all night, and just slowly trying to learn, and kind of was short pitting there to gain some track position. Lucky enough to be able to catch a yellow, but I think What I found out that last run is there's paint groove up top in 3 and 4, so expect the rest of the race guys to maybe make moves in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 you're not gonna be able to do anything because you can save way too much tires up there. None of us knew that, but I guess one guy did, and he's in second right now. So he's utilized that to his advantage, and look for the rest of us to do the same.
Well, yeah, it's a great observation there. Something I guess you learn out on the racetrack. You always have to learn. You always have to study, and yeah, you'll make the best of it, Blake. But you know, tell us about that transition to turn 1 and 2 for guys who have never run this configuration. How tricky, how different is it from what we normally always do with Texas?
Well, it's a lot flatter, and I went in there the first couple of times in practice and in qualifying, really, and just kind of overdrove it. Even saw it early in the race there, battling with Brian, just kind of got in turns 1 and 2 a little bit too hard. You don't really expect it, and plus, just with the speeds we're running here, we're going about 210 into turn 1, so that's probably a little bit faster than you used to going to Texas anyway, and then couple that with flat corners, so it's definitely a tricky one to go to for sure.
Well, buddy, I'm going to know you're going back to green. We'll let you get back to it. But as always, thanks for a couple of words. Good luck to us tonight there, bud.
All right, thanks. Everybody enjoy the race.
All right, Blake McCandless, we'll get him back to it. As Todd, we're up to the restart. Green flag back up in the air.
That green flag back up in the air. It's Blake McCandless. We're watching him. We were watching him live on the screen, almost 4 wide once again. But we're 2 by 2 here. The 25 of Brandon Hawken up on the top shelf of the Speedway. Blake saying in 3 and 4, you can conserve tires as a paint grip up there to make sure that your tires, and you can conserve them up there. And look where he's going. Right up to the top side is the 28 machine. He is Mr. F4, and that's why he is Mr. F4, because he knows and he searches around to try to find where he can save his tires the best. So he's going to fall back just a little bit as the 01 machine going to peek down to the inside. That's Michael Frisch. Frisch now able to get around Blake McCandless in the 28 machine.
Yeah, you saw that. The 25 of Brandon Hawken was also able to sneak by, put Brandon now up to third. Now Brandon going to come to the inside of the 26 of McAdams. That's a good battle now for that second spot. Give the advantage off of 4 to Hawken. Now here comes Michael Frisch. Kevin McAdams starting to backpedal through the field. Is that race car off, or maybe is he saving tire? I guess I'll have to wait and see. McAdams now back to 4th as they hit 1 and 2. Move that number 25 of Brandon Hawken up to 2nd. Can he be the one to chase down Isaac Gann?
Yeah, not sure. Brandon Hawken now under fire, under siege here from the 01 machine once again. Michael Frisch down to the bottom side. Side-by-side battle here for the 3rd spot. Give it to Michael Frisch around the 25 of Brandon Hawken. Blake McCandless still running in 5th now. Really starting to reel those guys in. Back again there in the 028 machine. He had a little flirtation with the outside wall there, Phil, as he was going to the top shelf of the Speedway. But McCandless able to pull it back in line, and he's caught the second and third place running guys.
Yeah, he really has, but Isaac Gann able to open the lead up in car number 34. Frisch right there in 2nd. Hawken 3rd. McCandless 4th. And Brandon Lawson, he is now rebounded, Todd. He is back up in the top 5. The 9 car, he's rolling in the right direction. All chasing Isaac Gann now off of turn 4.
Yeah, everybody chasing Isaac Gann. The number 34 machine starting to stretch out his lead almost to a 2nd now over Michael Frisch in that 01 machine. It doesn't look like it on the Speedway, but he's at .816 as of right now over the 01. Brandon Hawken .848 there, back in 3rd. Blake McCandless already a 2nd and 1.181 back. So some of these guys, is Brandon Lawson able to get around McCandless. That was a battle for 4th there. So put Brandon Lawson up to 4th. We haven't talked much about Brandon Lawson here tonight, Phil, and having a good run there in the number 9 machine. Can't wait to see what he's able to do here. He's one of my picks to make it here to the Final 4.
That is a great, solid pick. Really good pick there. And Brandon, a really good race car driver. The only issue is tonight, Todd, he comes in 6th in the standings. He's got to be up in the top 4. The small print there, I believe that says 18 points behind the cut line. So Brandon's one of those guys who really, really needs a good run. Currently up now running in that 4th spot, that number 9. Always a great-looking paint scheme of Brandon's out there. Needs a really good point tonight. Needs to keep the fenders clean, and he's going to capitalize on Taylor maybe being off now. You know, Kevin's up in the top 5. Cosman's up in the top 4 in the points. Looking down through the order, looking for the 24. He's currently running 10th. So, yeah, absolutely. He's going to capital on the misfortune of those guys. Maybe even the damage that Corey Carpenter picked up now was Corey's currently running the 30 car, currently running 13th. So, Brandon Lawson doing all what he has to do. Currently now running 4th as he's got a good race going on between himself and Brandon Hawken. It's the Brandon show going on once again another week here at FTF.
Yeah, here live on Full Velocity TV, but now it seems to cool off just a little bit. Hawkins starting to pull away. Here comes the 10 of David Schildhouse. He is trying to get around Brandon Lawson right there directly in front of him. Not able to do so far there, Phil, but these guys starting to catch one another rather quickly as 193.270 fastest time here. Can you guess, Phil, who had that fastest time here this last time by?
192, that's screaming. 190, that's screaming. So I'm going to look up and down, and my guess is going to be, I'm going to guess Kevin McAdams.
Wrong answer. The 34 of Isaac Gann with the fastest time that last time by. But, you know, Isaac Gann out there with clean real estate, and he's out there in fresh air, so that means a lot. They're able to put down some rather blistering lap times as of right now. Just looking through all of the scoring and time and all the little widgets I have right now, Phil, and just watching now. Last time by 192.685, David Schildhouse.
Yeah, and you know what the old-fashioned saying goes there, Todd? The fastest car, when the engine runs its best, what usually happens next? When that thing runs better than it has all night, what is that usually a sign of?
It means you're going to blow up. I've had that happen more than once, leading races at a local dirt track. And actually, I had it happen to me about 6 times, Phil, in 1 year. Leading it was running real good. I was pulling away, and poof, gone.
Well, you know what this happened to? It just happened to David Schildhouse. Runs that fast lap on the number 10, and poof, engine goes up in smoke. Down off the racetrack, behind the wall, the motor destroyed. David Schildhouse, the champ, forever in our hearts. The 10 car behind the wall. Night is done, runs that really quick lap, and just like that, the Schildhouse machine is gone. The magic is gone. Maybe he'll go back into retirement. Maybe he won't. We love the champ out here, Full Velocity TV champ. Tough to see out. I think he just wanted to get on TV again.
Yeah, maybe David Schildhouse. I don't think he hired the right squirrels for his cages in there, Phil. You know, the little circles that go around to make these things go. I think the squirrels just packed their lunch and went home for the evening there. Unfortunately for David Schildhouse, he's going to have to really, really look to find the right squirrels to run that machine so that way he's not blowing up.
Well, talk about a guy who wants a TV interview, jumps out of the race car, runs down the infield steward and says, tell these guys I want to interview. Well, let's go down there, champ. You had a really good piece up in the top 5 all night long, run the fastest lap of the race so far, and then a lap later, that motor is gone. What the heck's going on down there?
I didn't want the interview like this, Phil. I'll tell you that much right now. I'd rather have had the interview from victory lane, or at least for a solid top 3, because, yikes, Isaac and Taylor were pretty dang fast, but Taylor's not really a factor at this point. Yeah, the STP Ford Fusion was real good tonight. It was nice to come back out to a track I absolutely love. I love Texas. That's why I'm here tonight. I love running here. Got a couple of wins here, and figured I'd give it one last go. And then, yeah, pop she went off a 2 down the back straightaway. Maybe that fast lap was too fast.
Well, you talk about a guy who's won at Texas for years and years, but you got to think back. That's in the old configuration. Talk about the difference between the old one and what the new style is out with that 1 and 2 that's all kind of flat. We were talking to Blake here a little while ago. You guys are down in the corner screaming at almost 210 mile an hour. How the heck does that handle when that thing's all flattened out down there?
It's a challenge for sure. It's really tough because, yeah, you're booking it through 3 and 4. You're flat out, and then you got to set up for a very flat entry into turns 1 and 2 with not a lot of banking there to hold you. So you really got to cut a lot of speed. You got the steering wheel cranked to the left. You're kind of on the brakes a little bit or out of the gas. And just doing it by yourself is enough of a challenge, let alone if you're trying to pass somebody on the bottom side especially. So it's definitely somewhere you got to tiptoe and got to be real careful, be real courteous to those guys on the outside lane. But that's sort of what makes it fun. It really separates the men from the boys, if you will.
No, I could not agree more there, but oh, really good to hear your voice up here in the booth again. Wish this was in the post-race show with a top three. Is there one more start in the NR community, or is it like the old school race car drivers? They always say they're retired. They're going to come out for an occasional start. Is the end actually really in sight, or is this fake news of this retirement deal?
Well, this was only my 11th start of the 2018 season, and I'll do one more at Homestead in 2 weeks. I'll be at the Cup race in real life next Sunday at ISM Raceway. Check out the new configuration there. Hopefully get treated to a nice event. But, yeah, I'll make one more start at Homestead. I finished second there last year, had a good run back in 2016 for the championship, a track I definitely like. So I thought maybe this was one good chance to get a win. Homestead's another good chance, but anytime you got Taylor Morgan's in the field, it's really tough to tell. But it looks like we got contact on the raceway.
Hey, that's the announcer coming out there. I'm not sure.
I'll stay up here if you want me to. I don't mind.
Well, you know what? We'll take you up on that. As we're out there up in the top three, David Schildhouse is going to join us up here in the booth. A broadcast veteran. We will definitely keep David up here and get the expertise and the insight. I know Todd's got his hands down there. I think he's got 37 buttons down there at his disposal. And now under the caution flag, this one looks like it may have gobbled up the 5 of David Day, who, Mr. Schildhouse, he was having a really good, solid top 10 effort. I know you had some go-ins tonight with that 5 car. You were around a lot of those guys out there. It's a tough break for the 5. He was having a good night.
A tough night to be named David here at Texas Motor Speedway, no doubt about that. I saw one car flip over. Looks like originally contact between David Day with a car slowing down in front of him with Jordan Buster. It just sort of created a real tough spot, and I think one car went sideways through the grass. That was the 39 I saw there. And then somewhere behind him, I think Chris Emery flipped over somehow. So I'm not really sure how that worked out. But David Day, a lot of speed as we normally see him have, but not an incident he wanted to be a part of.
No, not at all. And I think we're going to get a look at it here on a Full Velocity TV, sponsored by Spotafora Firearms. Todd, what do you got for us?
Yeah, they're down here, and man, yeah, the 8 of Jordan Buster, he's hit nail in the coffin there for the number 39 machine as he comes down and he hits the wall hard. I mean, he already had lots of damage, and he was really overdriving it there. I thought he was going to take out Taylor Morgan's there a little bit ago, but the 39 of Poulin here, you just watch us here from the helicopter view, and this is the best vantage point to see everything that's going on. And unfortunately, Jordan Buster, David Day made a last-ditch effort to try to get around him. 39 was already there. He was coming up so fast, and then around goes the 39 of Poulin. Goes down through the grass, spinning around, and more contact to 43 Kyle Riley, driving straight through the grass as you see through the helicopter. Not sure what happened. Oh, there's what happened to the 222 Emery. Spinning around like a top and upside down and pirouette dancing here. As it looks like somebody made contact in one of those cars, Phil, that I don't like to even see on the screen. One of those Jimmy John cars. That means they did not get their car file in time.
I think that was the 80 car of Cody Urban there, Todd, and I think that was the one who got into the 222. I believe also there was something else to go back and take a look at. Go back and look around. I think the 11 of Phil Parker. I think Blake may have been around this one as well. All I see in the chat is the 11 car dying, so you may have something else there. It looks like there was a secondary, and I don't know, Mr. Schildhouse, you can correct me. Is the 30 the proper text here?
Tertiary. It's a tertiary.
Tertiary. Well, Todd, we have a tertiary. I'm going to call it a turd. I don't know what else to call it, but there was a third wreck there. You got a chance to go back and look at that. Looks like something happened around Phil Parker's car. All I saw was the 11 died, and I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe you can show us.
Oh, I definitely can show us, and man, I can't get over laughing at this one. I don't know if Phil Parker didn't see him or what was going on. He never let off the gas here, Phil. I watched his telemetry. He never let off the gas and barrel drive, or just pile drive the ass end of the 222 of Emery here. And oh man, yeah, that's why he died there. I don't think there's anything left of that 11 car. It comes to a stop, and there's no signs of the 11 of Phil Parker.
Yeah, I'm chuckling. Go back and look at that myself. As a guy who's done that probably about 20, 30, 100 times, I don't know. What do you think Parker's thinking there? Is he thinking at all at that point, David?
I hate to put myself in a situation to try and figure out what somebody was thinking in that scenario when it's really obvious that there's cars slowed down at pace speed in front of you. I don't want to speculate. Phil Parker just, I don't know. Sometimes we all have those moments where the brain doesn't communicate things to the hands and feet that it needs to in the time that it's required, and that's probably one of those situations. But yikes, not a good look.
I was just making some fun in the in-game chat and said, maybe guys named Phil are blind and shouldn't, sometimes be racing, because that what put me in driving retirement. Maybe we're going to talk to Mr. Parker about that one as well, because that was definitely a boneheaded move that put us, I believe this is a 6th caution flag of the night here at FTF. 142 laps into this main event, 167 laps to distance. The Chromatic Designs 400K here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Todd Stanton and Phil Lacasse and Mr. David Schildhouse on the call here as well. Great to have David here up in the booth once again. He was out there on the racetrack in the number 10 having a great top 5 effort when, his motor went up in smoke. But David, you kind of sound like, as an announcer-wise, you've definitely been in season. I know it's been a while since we've done a race together, but tell for everybody out there, I know you're one of the more popular guys out there, the ambassador of the curator of Schildhouse Nation. What has David Schildhouse been up to these days?
It's been a busy time since I last graced the airwaves here on Full Velocity TV, that's for sure. But I made a move a couple months ago. I moved up to Scottsdale, Arizona for a great job opportunity. So I took on a new job up here and went back to school. I'm continuing my bachelor's degree, pursuing a bachelor's degree in accounting. I'll be graduating in about 2 years or so, depending on how quickly I can get through all this stuff. And continuing on the broadcast work, cutting back on the actual sim racing and Twitch streaming, but doing a lot of broadcasting with LSR TV, which is always exciting. My usual Thursday broadcast for the Sesra series. So that's a lot of fun, and I fill in for them when my schedule allows, which isn't very often, but I'd like to do more of it, and trying to put some things together for 2019 as well, where I can fill in my free time, what little there is, with more opportunities on the broadcast.
Well, I'm really thrilled to have you up here in the booth once again there, bud. This is going to be a great time to call these last 25 laps. So you're getting ready to come back to green. It's going to be Brandon Lawson, Isaac Gann, Michael Frisch, Brandon Hawken, Kevin McAdams, currently your top 5. And now you look back to the back half of the top 10. You got names like Cosman in there. Brian Mercurio was 7th. Guys like Corey Carper, Taylor Morgans, Kyle Riley, all these guys racing with championship implications. David, what do you think these guys are thinking in the last 25 laps? You got Taylor with a tore-up car. Corey's got a tore-up race car. Kyle Riley, a guy sitting 8th in the standings, sitting basically a win or a really good run to give himself a chance at ISM next week to race his way in. What do you think these guys, what's the pressure they're feeling like out there as we go to green?
Well, it's all comes down to getting the best finishing spot that they can now. The stage points are out of the way. The guys fought real hard, and there was a lot of chatter down in the room that I was in with the Macaroni guys, with Kyle Riley and others, to try and get maximum stage points to make their load a little bit easier when they get to Phoenix, as it looks like we're slowed once again. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, yellow flag going to come out of the speed. This is a 6th time I adjusted in the air, making sure we definitely had the caution count right, so this should be number 6 on the speedway. Looks like this one may have clipped out of a 76 car of Noah Carmichael involved, and not sure if that caught anybody else, but going to put Todd Stanton back to work down there. And he's been a busy guy. Got a lot to show here tonight. He's been busy talking to us, and as my color guy. And I think when David come in and graced us with his presence and offered to stick around the rest of the race, I think Todd set out a big giant wahoo. As he's got all the buttons down there to bring the old sim to life, and he's got the 4 or 5, maybe 6 monitors at this point going on. So I'm thinking right now he's probably a happy guy who's able to calm down, maybe push the buttons, and feel like one of those big dime producers like you do it out there in the land of where David Schildhouse sits right now, where you have one of those isolated producers, doesn't say a word, pushes all the buttons, make you guys look good, make sure you sound good. So Todd, you're doing a great job of doing it once again for us on Full Velocity TV, pulling double duty. But you got a yellow flag to show. What happened to the 76 of Noah Carmichael?
Well, unfortunately, we're not going to see the 76, but the Gear Wrench sponsor machine here, another one of those cars that did not get downloaded here tonight. But Noah Carmichael, it's a case of cold equals bad. cold tires, and he spun his tires. It's all she wrote there. And collects Nick Baker there in the 79 machine. I do believe that's Nick Baker here tonight. Collects him on the restart. Not real bad. A real slow, easy spin for Noah Carmichael. He's able to get it gathered back up after a little bit of issues through the grass here. But he's back and going there, and it doesn't look like the 79 is no worse for the wear either. So a quickie yellow.
All right, quickie yellow, cold tires at Texas, something you usually don't hear too much about. I mean, I think any racetrack, David, when you got those tires cold, the restarts can be a little bit hairy, but do you think that was cold tires, or do you think Noah maybe started in first gear, maybe spun those things out? What do you think?
It could be a combination of both. I mean, when we talk about cold tires, temperature-wise, if you pit and you go out and make a pace lap, come back to the restart, the tires were sitting about 85 to 90 degrees. So that's not a lot of heat 'em, and it's hard to get traction with a tire that's that cold. So definitely recommended starting gear is second gear. First gear is very tall, and you run out of RPMs pretty quickly, especially run at 55 miles an hour under the yellow flag. So, maybe Noah was in first and hit the gas and it jumped sideways, or, was in second and just didn't treat that throttle pedal very nicely. You still got to treat it nice, even though you're in a lower RPM. You can't just jump on it. You got to finesse it a little bit. But, I've made that mistake. A lot of guys have made that mistake somewhere along the line when it comes to sim racing. And you get a little exuberant, you see the green flag, you want to go.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate right there. As a guy who, I'm basically chilled out at this point. Basically semi-retired, almost fully retired race car driver at this point. I think we've all mashed the gas pedal probably a little harder than we'd like to. I think Todd's probably put his foot through the floor a couple of times. So we're having some fun, but we'll wait and see here. As we're about to come to the restart at 147 laps, going to go up onto the board. Isaac Gann, Brandon Lawson, Michael Frisch, Brandon Hawken, Kevin McAdams going to bring up our top 5 here, 6 through 10. We have Cosman, Brian Mercurio, Taylor Morgans, Corey Carpenter, and Kyle Riley. That is going to be our top 10. David, we're coming back to the restart. Does anybody have anything left for Isaac Gann? Right now, Brandon Lawson, he's going to be the best bullet. He starts alongside, green flag up in the air.
The only thing that's going to stop Isaac Gann from winning 2 races in a row is a rash of yellow flags and having to contend with others on restarts. But as you just saw right there, he's still able to get away from Brandon Lawson. It's good to be the leader. You type green in chat when you're ready to go within the restart zone, and you catch everyone off guard. So Isaac Gann, the man of power, as he powers through 3 and 4.
Yeah, power move through 3 and 4. Put the 34 car of Isaac Gann back up to the lead where he has been, most of this night long. But we're going back under caution flag once again. I saw some Fs going up there in the chat there with a new thing that FTF is on. Type F for respect. And looks like once again we may find the 11 car of Phil Parker involved. I don't know if this one caught the 39 of Jake Poulin, but I'm not exactly sure what we're going to catch. But Mr. Stanton has been a busy guy for these last 15 minutes down there in the Full Velocity TV booth. But I've got to thank you guys all that are out there watching. YouTube's been a great place tonight. Twitch TV, Facebook Live, all 3 media is going out here. If you would like to be a part of the great racing action, either your league broadcasted live, you'd like to put your name on a sponsorship tag here, or whatever else you'd like to do, get a hold of us now. Contact Full Velocity TV through our Facebook portal, or also by our old-school, old-fashioned emails. Anybody email anymore? Well, find us at fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. Get a hold of Todd or myself, and we will hook you up, whatever you guys are thinking out there. We'd love to give you some great racing action. If it's NR 2003, we're very busy out there in the iRacing community as well, so we'd love to come over and do a whole lot more. Full Velocity TV here to fit all what you guys got going on. But under the caution flag now for the 7th time, and I believe Phil Parker had to go in this one, Todd. So a quickie caution. Show us what happened in the 11 car.
Yeah, we got to see it live on the screen as I was thumbing through things, and we got to see it live on the screen in a different camera angle. So we're going to go from helicopter here. And Phil Parker does his best rendition as dirt here. He's never this sideways even on dirt, as it just snaps out from underneath him. 11 goes around, collects the 028 of Blake McCandless. McCandless's night, pirouette dancing down here through the back straightaway. McCandless has pulled already behind the wall. His night is done here in the 028 machine. So, unfortunately, Blake McCandless' car, just too much there. Too much damage for him, and unfortunately, he's out of this race now.
And that's just the sucky part of sim racing, or the sucky part in general, David, because The old adage of cautions breeding cautions. You get guys all amped up to the end. You've got a couple of quick yellow flags. The tires are cold. The tempers may be getting a little tad bit hot. The only problem with that is when cars start getting spun around, you get innocent bystanders, and that's what happened to Blake. Is he had a really good car, just like yourself. He had a really good, solid top 5 effort. You get all the way in an hour and 40 minutes in, 150 laps in, and your night's over. It's got to be a sucky feeling.
Yeah, it really is. It's a punch to the gut. I used a more colorful phrase in the server chat to describe how I was feeling, but I'll save that for the game chat. Keep it off the airwaves. Don't want the SEC coming after us. But yeah, it really hurts. But that's racing. It happens in real life. Happens here on the sim as we get ready to go back to the green flag.
All right, pace car in off of turn number 4. They're rolling to the restart zone. Once again, Isaac and Brandon Lawson lead the field to green. Isaac is on at first. They're back to green flag racing. The 34 going to go right back to the race lead. Brandon Lawson going to fall there in second. Michael Frisch, a really good restart in the 01. I can't believe that car, David, after the nose shot he took early in the going. Michael Frisch has that car up there in the top 3. I'm so impressed with that run. Also impressed the way the 25 of Brandon Hawkins. I don't know how much you paid attention to FTF these last couple of weeks, but you got to talk about the 25 of Brandon Hawkins. If you didn't know who he was, you do now, because both of these drivers, a tremendous amount of talent. They have really showed good over these last 8 weeks.
Yeah, Michael Frisch with a runner-up finish last week at Martinsville. And Phil, I'll tell you, I've been watching every race here in the playoffs if I haven't been driving in it. It's been very entertaining. And, you know, I ran at Talladega, but, excuse me, I'm getting a little choked up here being out of this race watching these guys. Michael Frisch doing a great job. Ran second at Martinsville to Isaac, so kind of a familiar feeling to see him running up towards the front. Brandon Hawkins doing a great job as well. Spent a lot of time around him out on the track tonight. He's got a lot of good pace in that number 25, and he's been making a lot of noise. Both these guys here in the latter portion of the schedule, and well, if they come back and do this thing next year, a couple of guys you're really going to have to consider to be playoff favorites for sure, maybe even a championship contender.
I think that's a pretty good simile right there. I think you have something you're going to watch out for. Good battle shaping up now for that 4th spot between the Frisch machine and the 01. Here comes Kevin McAdams, the 26, starting to march his way back forward. You got to think Kevin's got something left in that Camaro here before this race is out.
Never count out K-Mac. That's a very good lesson anyone can follow, and he knows this track. He knows the setup very well. He is responsible for completing and putting them both together. He dives down to the bottom. Oh no, another engine failure. Kevin McAdams, this one with championship implications. I know he's got a lot of bonus points to his name, but that's another engine pop.
Man, that's 2, and it's not make heavy because you were in the Ford, he was in the Chevrolet, but that's another championship contender now out of the event. Kevin McAdams, that thing up in a puff of smoke about as quick as you could find one. So what do you think here late in the going? I mean, high RPMs that these guys are turning all night long. Is that a product of setup or the way these guys are attacking the track or getting too close to the back bumpers, getting that engine temperature praised? What do you think happened, David? Because you got in a familiar situation right up to the back of somebody and then the motor lets go.
The temperatures themselves were fine. There was not a lot of tape on the front end of it, but we were cranking a lot of RPMs, especially on fresh tires when you're turning your fastest laps. And like you highlighted, I ran the fastest lap of the race right before mine went, and was turning a lot of RPMs down that front straightaway. So you get a good run through 3 and 4. You're doing, well over 210 miles an hour, and you're tacking out almost. So, you could almost afford to back 4th gear down, maybe just a click there. We'll see. We'll see as this race continues. That's got to go into these guys' minds as we get close to 10 laps to go this time by. Can we have one more engine failure up front or something that's going to change the complexion of this race?
Well, and looking at guys like Isaac and up front who have really been in control of this thing all night long, I wonder if a thought like that starts creeping into his mind as he saw guys like, Kevin's blown one, you've popped one. I mean, you guys are pretty good race car drivers. It can happen to anybody. Do you think at all that maybe he starts hearing, the little bit of the extra noise in that race car, remember, extra pop, or, you got to think he's going to be hearing every sound right now that car may make.
Oh, absolutely. When you're out front, you got to win in sight. Your senses heighten. You start thinking about everything that could go wrong to take that win away from you, and it's well documented. Guys they'll think they're hearing something and there's nothing there, but your brain's working overtime with anxiety because you got a big accomplishment very close in your future, and there's a lot of things in racing that can take that away from you. And in this sim, an engine failure, a random engine failure like that's now bitten 2 top 10 cars, 1 top 3 car for sure. and you just there's nothing you can do to prevent that. It is completely out of your control.
Yeah, it is a byproduct of racing, but already we're now under 10 laps to go. Isaac Ann's out to the lead. Brandon Hawken running second. That battle at that third position, it's really starting to take shape. Michael Frisch is there. Brandon Loss is number 9. Kyle Riley's number 43. Kyle's had a really interesting night there, David. You know, a good top 5 race car. Stretched out his fuel at the end of stage number 2 to try to get maximum points here as he sits 8th in the standings. And out late in the going, a really good solid top 5 effort. How much do you think he pushes that race car trying to score every point he can do and maybe take an unnecessary chance that may put him up on the top 3 or something that may take him out? What do you think he's thinking up there? That's a team car to what you were out there running.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion in the Macaroni Salad Auto Sports channel about how they were going to approach the last section of this race after getting all the stage points they could, and Kyle Riley definitely has a vested interest in getting the best finish that he can. A win seems unlikely at this point, but he is very good at ISM Raceway, and we'll see that 1 week from tonight, but he still has a chance at this thing to get into the Final Four at Homestead. Not going to be able to do it through a win here tonight, but if he can get a lot of points, maybe pass 1 or 2 more cars, each point really matters. And with the shakeup that we've seen and some of the guys having misfortune inside of the top 8 in the point standings, it could be something that benefits him once that rollover comes from Homestead.
No, absolutely right. And the lowest of those 8 guys up there running for a championship is going to be Kevin McAdams tonight. The number 26. Well, I guess the lowest you can say is Tyler Head's number 64. Tyler didn't even make the trip here to Texas here tonight. So out of those 7 championship contenders that made the racetrack, McAdams is going to finish the lowest out of those. You look at those guys racing on the racetrack still. Justin Malello, 5th in the standings, currently running in the 14th spot. You got to think he's going to be frustrated. No, we talked to him earlier. He definitely down on power from a wreck. What more do you think he can do at this point? You got to feel helpless under the 53 cockpit of, just trying to make the best finish you can and watching these championship contenders all up there running inside the top 10. You got to be hating that.
It's a very helpless feeling when you know you got to pass the guys and you just can't do it because of wreck and damage and other things that you can't fix at this point. You're kind of stuck with what you got. Justin used a little bit of an interesting pit strategy. I think he cost himself some points there at the end of stage 2 with what he employed. So, some errors maybe on his behalf that are going to cost him a few points tonight, some errors on other people's behalf, and he got wiped out by Cody Erdman early in the race, and that's not his fault, but that's racing again, like we've said. So Justin will look back at Texas as maybe some missed opportunities for sure.
I think absolutely will. Well, up front, there's really nothing dramatic to talk about. Isaac Ann looking to make it 2 in a row over here at FTF, a multiple-time, I believe 6-time winner during the course of this season. The 34 has had a solid effort. Surprised a guy like Isaac, David, hasn't made a run for a championship this year, because every time he rolls to the pit area, he's always on the top 3 or 4 guys you think that is going to compete for a win. If Isaac Ann ever applied himself to running for the FTF championship, how would you gauge his chances versus all the other talent we see out here?
I'd put him at 2-to-1 odds to win the championship if he ever committed to running full-time. He's the only guy that can really hang with Taylor Morgans over the course of an entire race, especially a green flag run. He's so talented, so good as he takes 2 laps to go here. So talented and so good at saving that right front tire and just running very consistent laps, running a faster, consistent lap than anybody else really can do. And it's really to the benefit of the rest of the field that he doesn't run full-time.
It may be. Now seeing some good racing down the backstretch. 2 cars making contact. The 44, Brian Mercurio, bounced off the outside wall. Him and David Day having a really good spirited race going on for I believe that's a 6th position now off of turn number 4. They're going to take white flag. Isaac Ann has one more trip around the Texas Motor Speedway. He works his way off of turn number 2. Brandon Hawken currently running 2nd. Michael Frisch there looking like he's going to have to battle off with the 9 car of Brandon Lawson for that 3rd spot. But as they hit now turn number 3 for the final time, Isaac Ann, he's able to see the checkered flag in sight off of turn number 4. He's going to be the first of the flag. Isaac Ann picks up the win of the Chromatic Designs 400K at the Texas Motor Speedway. Brandon Hawken going to finish up 2nd. Michael Frisch 3rd. Brandon Lawson 4th. Kyle Riley scores a great points night with a solid top 5 effort. Taylor Morgans rebounds nicely up there to a P6 finish. Brian Mercurio 7th. David Day 8th. Cosman 9th, and Corey Carpenter, after a disastrous start to the evening as well, he scores a very, very solid top 10 finish. But I think when we saw Taylor get taken out there, David, I think we all kind of thought Isaac Gannon was certainly going to be the man to beat. And if he wasn't the fastest car here in Texas tonight, and definitely the more consistent and definitely the most lucky at this point, the entire field going by giving him a tap there. Isaac Gann, he laid it to him here tonight in Texas.
I tell you, it's not easy to win a race in the FTF Cup Series. It's a very hard thing to do no matter how talented you are, because all the talent in the world can only get you so far. You got to have some good luck on your side, and Isaac, I think, probably had a little bit better pace compared to Taylor Morgan's, but Taylor made the mistake and clipped Ryan Naraki on that exchange, put himself in the outside wall and behind for the rest of the race. He rebounded to finish sixth, which is to his credit, but there was only one guy in Texas that was going to beat Isaac Gann, and that was Taylor Morgan's, but he ended up beating himself. So congrats to Isaac. Look forward to hearing what he has to say on his second straight win.
Well, we're definitely going to talk to him in victory lane. We get to do that with Todd once again. We'll also run down and talk to Michael Frisch, and we'll also catch up with our friend from Canada there, Mr. Brandon Hawkin. But I got to salute you, Mr. David Schildhouse, coming out here aboard, out there running a top 5 effort, taking out there with a blown engine, volunteering to come up here and call the action here at Full Velocity TV. I got to thank you for doing that again, buddy. It's always good to talk to you. I know you got a lot of people here post-race you want to go down and hang out with, but from Todd and myself, thanks for taking your time out here. This is a lot of fun, and with any luck, sometime in the near future, we do this again, bud. Always good to have you up here.
It's been a pleasure to watch you guys cover the FTF playoffs, and do it as a two-man show is very impressive. That's not an easy thing to do, and Todd really earns the huge paycheck that he gets, that big salary that we know that he's entitled to, by running the replay stuff and the camera stuff and the sound stuff, and also doing some commentary as well. That's not an easy thing to do, and you guys do a wonderful job bringing some fantastic coverage of the true great remaining series here in the NR 2003 community, and it's been fun to watch over the last 8 weeks now. We got 2 more races to go. I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens at ISM, and then I'll hit the track one last time at Homestead in 2 weeks. I'll look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, David Schildhouse is gracious enough to join us up here in the booth here for Full Velocity TV through these last 35 laps. That was a really, really great time. But I'm going to run down here to the end of pit road, and I'm going to catch up. We've done this a lot here recently. Talk to the driver of the number 01 of Michael Frisch. Michael, but another solid top 3 finish. I think Todd and I were scared there early on in the going when we saw Brian get turned around, and you just had nowhere to go and just off in the side of him at full speed. Was that race car dinged up at all from that wreck? Because you really had a good piece all night long.
Nah, he made a big old smoke cloud in front of me. I couldn't see a thing going into one. It didn't really give me no damage. I was just worried about if it damaged my radiator at all, if I was gonna blow up, because quite a few people blew up tonight, and it was definitely on my mind. So that was a little bit of a mistake on my part.
Well, dude, you really had a good car to finish up in the top 3. You really soldiered on back strong. But if there was no contact with Mercurio there in that smoke cloud, was there anybody tonight besides maybe Taylor Morgan's that had any shot to chase down Isaac? And did you have a piece that could go up there and compete with those two? Because those two guys, they really stuck out as the class of the field here tonight.
I had nothing for them. I don't know what I could have done different. I was giving it my all, but I lost position every time. I lost time. If I short pit, long pit, it wouldn't matter. They would come out faster than I would. They were definitely class of the field and a zip code of their own tonight for sure.
Well, definitely in the True North camp, some team directives coming on by hiring a fast bullet like you to bring that 01 car out there, racing for the Owners' Championship. How coveted is that thing to you guys at True North, as that 01 was paraded by Jake most of the season, now getting you out here for the playoffs? Is that what it's all about, out there racing for the Owners' Championship? How big is that to you guys over at True North?
At this point, yeah, it's our goal right now is to bring home that Owners' Championship. So we're racing Taylor with everything we got, basically. I don't know if I'll be in the 01 next weekend. You might see someone else, but we definitely are definitely going to go for that title.
Well, Mike, class act out there, the 01 car coming up with the 3rd spot. We've had a great crowd watching on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and Twitch TV. So does anybody out there you'd like to thank? Friends, family, sponsors, the floor is all yours, buddy, to do that just now. I think this is coming old hat to you.
Oh, yeah. I just want to thank my boys over at Clout and True North for giving me this ride. They definitely put a fast driver in it for sure.
Well, I like hearing that. That's the old Ricky Bobby and a race car driver right there. You put a good piece in there, you put a good driver in, it's going to take you to big things. So thank you, Michael Frisch. We'll get you back to it down there in the True North room. So we'll move him out of the channel, and now we'll run down toward pit road. And this is another guy we've talked to a lot in these last couple of weeks. The number 25 car of Brandon Hawken coming home second. And Brandon, I think Randall Coleman needs to consider hiring you full-time to run that car, because I know he had a good year, but you're up there contending for wins every week, buddy. Tell us about that hot rod you had at Texas this week.
Well, thanks, Phil and Todd. Man, I did not expect that finish at all. I thought I was doing all right. Like, it was probably a good maybe top 5 to 7 car. But yeah, I got really lucky there with the pits. I think I had an open stall in front of me and an open stall behind me, so I was able to get in and out of the pits pretty quick. And I was all right on the long run. Not the greatest. I know like guys like Isaac and Kevin, they were great on the long run, but I was kind of in the middle there. So I was just trying to survive on the long runs and get what I could on the short run. But yeah, it was really good with that quick run at the end. Try and get a few positions and attempt to hold them coming towards the end. So yeah, it was a great race with I think it was Michael Frisch and Brandon Lawson had a really good run with there too at the end. Really good battle.
Well, you were a guy that was mixed up in good battles all over this place all night long, especially, off of that turn 4, down through the dog leg, and down to that newly reconfigured turn 1 and 2 where it's all kind of flat. You guys went through there a couple of times, 3, almost 4 wide. You were right in the middle of that. How difficult was that? Because I didn't watch any of the Cup race today, but I did catch about 15 minutes of the Xfinity Series yesterday, and they couldn't get through that corner 2 wide. You guys got through there 4 wide, entering at over 200 miles an hour. What was that like?
Oh man, it was tough. Probably not quite as tough as the Xfinity guys had it there yesterday, but it was tough because the bottom line you had to hit it just right or you'd slide up the track, and if you were just above the groove in the middle, there was like no grip at all. So you had to really be patient and just to get those good runs off. And yeah, going in there 3 wide and stuff, it was pretty sketchy for sure.
Well, Brandon, as always, bud, you really put a really, really good run out there for us. But I know you got a lot of people out there watching. Facebook's been pretty good. YouTube Live has been hopping it as always at FTF. Twitch has been kind of there as well. But tell your car owner out there, show them how a true professional does it. Up here on the podium, once again, friends, family, sponsors, Brandon, you know the drill. Thank them all now.
Well, thank you. Yeah, first I got to thank Randall for letting me drive his car, and all my guys at Fast Racing League, PTR. Yeah, my mom was watching. My dad might watch later. And the Speed Inc. guys for letting me roll with them tonight. That was pretty cool.
I'm not sure you can ask for a couple of better group of teammates right there, Brandon. So congratulations, bud. 3rd place finish, and I'm hoping we'll see you next week at ISM. I know that's a really good track for you out there in Arizona. So good luck next week in Phoenix, bud.
Oh, you sure will. Thank you.
All right, Brandon Hawken rolling off tonight in the 25. He finishes up run-up spot P2. That's a really good finish for that 25. But for the second week in a row live here on Full Velocity TV, Todd Stanton goes down to victory lane. He goes to victory lane every week. And once again, greeted by an old friend, the 34 of Isaac in. Once again, Todd, he lays it to him tonight in Texas. If you're going to do it big, it's bigger in Texas. Isaac did it in a big way, and this is going to be a big celebration down there. Take it away.
Yeah, back-to-back wins for the driver of the Alienware number 34, Isaac Gann, picking up the win here tonight. Isaac, you were in a different zip code here tonight. As soon as Taylor Morgan's wasn't there, you just checked out on the rest of the field here. Late race yellows and hampered it a little bit. I mean, things had to be going through your mind just a little bit with all these different drivers behind you, maybe trying to drive it deep down in the corner, trying to get around you. But pretty much once that green stayed out, you just drove away from the rest of the field. Tell us about it here this evening.
Yeah, it was fun. I was kind of sad to see Taylor wreck there. I heard he kind of got tangled up with, I think it was Ryan, when Ryan was coming into pit. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty fun finish, I think. And I came in and kind of just did my normal thing. I actually forgot to fix my ratio the way I want it, so my steering was way out of whack. So it took me a little bit to get used to that, but I kind of just figured it out, and then kind of just got a gauge of what Taylor was wanting to run as far as the pace is concerned. And once I knew where he was at, I kind of was able to gauge on what I needed to do. And I was able to, I felt like, it would have been definitely a battle between me and him if he wouldn't have wrecked. But I think I felt pretty confident that I still could have gotten it. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, I mean, there at the end, I was a little concerned just because Hawken and them were pretty fast on short runs, so I wasn't quite sure, how it was going to go. I was just kind of like, okay, I just need to, put the pedal to the floor and see what happens, and I was able to win. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, definitely a good race here from your standpoint. And we had David Schillhouse up here, and he said that he would rank you up there with Taylor Morgan's here. He thought if he ran a whole season at FTF, he probably could claim one of these championships. But he says for the benefit of most of the drivers, he said it's probably good that Isaac don't run most of the season, but picking up another win here in FTF, Isaac, and it was a fantastic showing. Like he said, I mean, pretty much virtually flawless here for you this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought that I could probably contend for the if I ran the whole season, but for different reasons, I just haven't been able to commit to the whole season and run I think it's the 20 races or something like that is the minimum start requirement going into the chase. And so I mean, I've thought about it at the beginning of the season. I actually was planning on doing the whole thing, and then a bunch of silly stuff happens. Yeah, I mean, then I want to say thank you to Shieldhouse for saying that, because I really appreciate that.
Well, I figured I would mention that to you there, Isaac. But the microphone, the floor is all yours. Thank you. I would like to thank you on Full Velocity TV, and I know there's some people out there that are cheering you on tonight.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys again for doing this. Thank you to FTF, and thank you to Big Time Shieldhouse. I loved having him back in there. It was fun racing against him, and especially there at the beginning of the race, me and him had a little bit of a battle, and that was pretty fun. So I'm sure he kind of got a kick out of that. It's kind of like old times.
It definitely was like old times here tonight, Isaac, watching David Schildhouse, you and Taylor go at it. Again, congratulations on your win tonight, and you're going to go try for 3 in a row next week?
I mean, I guess I have to now.
The good old hat trick there for Isaac again, maybe next week here at Phoenix. So we'll wait and see what happens there, Phil. Again, congratulations to Isaac Gann here, picking up the win here in that Alienware number 34. But I believe Justin Malello is standing by, Phil, to give you a points update here for the evening.
Oh, absolutely is, and playing traffic. And Todd's got treats down there in Victory Lane, and Phil yet has nothing. But I'm going to have something here in a minute. I'm bringing Justin Malello into the conversation, and Justin Malello, give us the points update. You had a solid rebounding finish, but I don't want to talk about where you finished. I want to hear about where you and the other 7 guys around you, where these guys all stack up as way of where we're looking to go to ISM next week.
Well, I'm happy to say that I've got a twofer for you tonight. I not only have the driver's points available, but I also have those coveted owner points available, which I normally don't get to until tomorrow, but I know it's pretty close there as well. So without further ado, let's get to the driver points. Taylor Morgans does not have a win this round yet. He's actually had some pretty poor luck, but with all of his extra bonus points and stage wins and race wins and everything else that he's got, all he has to do next week is start, and he will advance to the championship 4. So congratulations to Taylor. You did it. Kev McAdams is in second in the points. Mind you, nobody in the Elite 8, the round of 8, have a win yet because Isaac's been hogging them all. So we got to go by points currently. So anyway, Kevin is currently in second, and he has a 28-point lead over 5th place. Next is Cosmin, and Cosmin has a 16-point lead over 5th place. 4th place currently belongs to Corey, and Corey is only ahead of 5th place by 4 points. Kyle Riley is that man in 5th place. He moves up a couple spots. He's 4 points out of it. I am 6th in the points, tied with Brandon Lawson, and we are both 6 points behind Corey. And then Tyler Head, who I don't know why, but he was not able to make it tonight. He's pretty much got to win next week if he shows up to be able to advance to the championship 4. On the other side of it, on the owner point side, it's pretty much a 3-way battle going on between 2 huge Ram Mile High Motorsports teammates and a True North Motorsports Ford. And it's that True North Motorsports Ford, the 01 car, currently driven by Michael Frisch, but mostly driven by Jake Poulin. They are leading the points by 21 over the 36 Chevrolet, driven by Taylor Morgans. And they also have another 22 points back to the number 9 Dodge that's been driven by Brandon Lawson. So they go by the old point system, which is 2004 based. So, I mean, 21 points is pretty much the equivalent of 4 or 5 positions in the current standings. So it's really close between those 3. And it's really close between the 4 of us in the driver standing. So lots and lots to look forward to next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, and I'm hoping after this one, I know we talked to you earlier, you were kind of a little bit down on the dumps over it, but you guys at FTF, man, the next couple of weeks is going to be red hot. Eliminations next week where 8 become 4 in Phoenix. That is going to be fun. The ISM Raceway. We will be there next week. We will see you there, bud. Great job with the points update. The twofer, I mean, I'm not sure there's a busier guy in sim racing to get that all jumbled up that quickly. Great job, bud. We'll do this again next week. I can't wait.
Yep. Thank you guys for all that you do, as always. And I'm really looking forward to next week's race at Phoenix. And then 2 weeks after that at Homestead, Miami.
That is going to be a good time. Justin Malello, the owner of FTF Racing, giving us the twofer update tonight live on Full Velocity TV. And what do you think, Todd? I know we're looking forward to getting a championship at Homestead, but next week in Phoenix is going to be hot. God, do you have any predictions? What do you think we can think of? And I'm pretty excited. Are you excited? Put the ice cream down and tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, enjoying the ice cream down here, but I tell you what, Phil, I'm excited. I had to cool off just a little bit, but excited about the Phoenix race, and I'm excited about what's going to happen. It's so close, like Justin was saying, so close for 4 of those guys down there at the bottom half. Now, who's going to make it in? So far, nobody's won here to advance himself into the next round via win. Taylor Morgan's all he has to do is start next week, and he's going to advance into Homestead. But that leaves the other spots wide open there, Phil. So we're going to have to see. And then we got the championship there for the True North or for one of the other guys that are involved in that one and see if they're able to pull it off, like you said. But, man, there's so many things going into the next race that we have to cover, and I just don't know, Phil. I have no predictions, but the top 4 that are the best are going to be at Homestead.
Well, my only prediction next week is I think you've got 37 buttons there. I'm thinking next week it may grow to over 40. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see till we get back here next Sunday night here over at FTF Racing. Got to thank Justin, the entire staff over here, Kevin, Corey, Brandon, the entire group. Got to thank David Schildhaus for joining us here for these last 30 laps. That was a great blast of the past to do, and great to do that with him once again. Next up for us here live on Full Velocity TV, well, Tuesday night, we go back over to the iRacing Dirt World. We're over to the Jackpot Modified Series over at Victory Lane Racing, Team VLR, this coming Tuesday night. Going to be a very, very hot ticket show. Watch us live here on Full Velocity TV. Then back on Wednesday night, back over to Dirt Warrior Racing at the Kokomo Speedway for a great 75-lap event for Sunday night street fights, which is going to be a great time. Then, of course, back on the airwaves on Thursday night over at our sponsor, DirtSeries.com. The Pro versus Super Late Model Series, always a great time on the Dirt Thursday night. So we got a busy night, a couple nights of dirt track racing coming up in the iRacing world. You guys going to follow us here live on Full Velocity TV, and of course get us here through our Facebook portal or by email, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. So on behalf of our sponsors, DirtSeries.com, Spatafora Firearms, for everybody here at FTF, for everybody behind the scenes at Full Velocity TV, our graphics guy Martin Karch, Mr. Too Tall Todd Stanton, the best color guy in the business at the controls for us every night. Phil Nicasio signing off. We'll be back here live on the Dirt Tuesday night here on Full Velocity TV. Have a good night, everybody.